I have. Are we a little low tonight? We'll know in a minute.
How do you know
Boom.
for sure?
How do you really know?
You never really know.
How do you know for sure?
All right, had to sneak on in there. Kids have no crew tonight. It's me. How do you ever really know? Welcome to the Outhouse podcast, everybody.
Where we
How
talk
you doing tonight?
Shit about shit.
We're gonna talk shit about shit with special guest Jeremy James.
Jimmy James. I like saying that name.
Thanks
Jeremy
for having
James.
me, Chicken Coopers.
Welcome to the show, Jeremy James. Ooh, I sounded kind of hollow.
All
There.
right.
That sounded weird in my earphones.
You sound weird without the earphones.
I guess I did. You're gonna read your little disclaimer thing so we don't get in
Yeah.
trouble.
So you guys know how it goes. The views and opinions expressed by the individuals in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the Outhouse podcast or its affiliates. It's all just jokes, kids.
Nicely
Calm
done.
down.
Nicely done.
Calm
And I don't
down.
drop quarters for saying the F word because I try not to say it at all. I do it when I say shit.
I'm just gonna get dollars
So I
out
said
now.
Yeah, we can make change. There's
Yeah.
piles in there.
And who's our charity that we're going to give this to at the end?
Humble Creatures up on Cleveland Avenue.
Boom.
Fucking
There it
A.
is. There it is. There it is.
Bwah!
A big F and A.
I'll try to
Throwing
keep
them
it.
everywhere.
It's like a poker game.
Throwing them everywhere. All righty then.
Do we have anything that we need to go back on that we said last time?
I
Mix
don't
them in
remember.
or any of that
Shit, I
stuff?
slept since then. What you talking about?
I did too.
What you talking about over here?
I did. I caught up on some sleep the last couple of days.
Not me, but anyway. So what's going on, Jeremy James?
Shit, man. Glad to be here, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, man, we definitely want to get these local artists out. Jeremy's one of our local artists. He does acoustic stuff with jam tracks that he recorded himself. He didn't just go onto YouTube and download some shit to play with.
Nope.
He recorded them himself.
Drums, bass, leads, which I suck at, so it took a really long time.
That's awesome. when you
I
do it all
sampled a
by
few
yourself.
things.
Dennis is
that
in
I
the
could,
house.
but- Yeah.
That's good when you do it
That's
all
all
on your
right,
own
though.
like that.
You can sample things.
yeah.
It has to go like that sometimes. Can't get it all when you're one person.
Right.
Do you do any originals?
I have some. I don't do them out live. I really don't think anybody gives a shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to sneak them
So,
in, man. If they
right,
got,
yeah.
you never know.
I do some pretty obscure ones that I sneak in. So those are for me.
It touched somebody sometimes.
It'd be good to see someone else on the stage on Sunday.
Right.
Dialing us in. There we go.
Don't forget, he will be here Sunday, 5:30 to
5:30.
do Chicken House.
Tom's
Chicken
Shack.
Coop Live.
I keep trying to get into
Chicken
the
House.
Chicken Shack.
That's what it is.
the Chicken Shack.
We got our
Chicken
our
live.
little pecker and our big huge cock hidden. Got a big black cock too.
See that?
Got to slam that seabird in there hard.
You notice how it hit the table a little harder? It's that big black one.
Well, last time we deviated from the questionnaire and I caught some heat. So I'm just going to hit the questionnaire because we have an actual.
Get back in your microphone, you.
I am a musician in the house today. So since we have someone that plays multiple instruments, a lot of these will fall right in like they did whenever we did them originally.
Right.
I know.
Here, man, you're bugging me.
Thank you. It just
There.
it didn't feel right. That's
Yeah.
what it was. Well, you always tell me to look up and see because it's covering my face, so I'm trying to like. So
Well, you don't really need to. You can have it out. I can get it up there. You don't have to have it in your face. You just seem to like it like that.
what did you discover in music, man?
I actually woke up every day of my life that I can remember to the Beatles blaring on my mom's stereo
Great answer.
every morning. So I think that was a huge influence.
And what a great band to have
before I
blaring
even
every
knew.
morning,
You know
too.
what I mean?
Right.
She's a gigantic Beatles fan, Paul McCartney fan, and
Was it a
that
particular
was,
album?
all of them, everything, and that was something that, as a kid, I didn't like. I think you're not supposed to like your parents' music, you know what I mean? But it was
That's right.
it's what better band to wake up to every day, you know?
I had a
in my
little bit of the
opinion.
Beatles and then a little bit of dancing queen.
Then, like, you know, I think that helped out with
I was
songwriting later on in life.
Oh yeah,
Just, you know, picking apart harmonies and,
Absolutely.
and to have that at your core,
Yeah.
the Beatles.
yeah.
Where'd it go after the Beatles?
I think I really started getting into like more rock music, you know, when the grunge hit when I was a teenager and, you know, middle school, whatever.
What was the big grunge band for you that pulled you in?
Oh man, of course Nirvana. Everything that was on the radio at the time was awesome.
I had poor Al muted.
I think that
Sorry, Al.
You couldn't escape "Smells Like Teen Spirit."
no man, it was just
It was everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, what you gonna do?
and I mean there's bands like Soundgarden. I wish I would have liked them more because they're just fantastic.
Oh
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
I wasn't really into them. It wasn't that
Yeah,
I didn't like them. I just wasn't
Right.
really
I
into
like
them.
more
But
of
yeah,
the-
man, that dude was an awesome singer, man.
I like more of the
Yes.
thrashier three chord songs. You know, I like those kind of bands, Mudhoney and stuff like that back then. So
Pump Up the Volume. That movie with Christian Slater where he played the DJ. Soundgarden was on that soundtrack. Heretic. I think it was Heretic.
yeah, they
was the
were
song.
way underrated for
That
back
was
then. I mean, they were a big band back then, but they were one of the better.
I agree.
Absolutely. Them and Alice in Chains
Oh, yeah.
was pretty much my favorites up out of that
Yeah,
area.
me too. I did really go
Oh, I
down.
do like Stone Temple Pilots though too, man.
Yeah, you know,
It
the
was
core.
good. I worked for them twice, man, and they was fucking good and live, boy. Woo! I mean, real good.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's tons of them, man. But yeah, that's pretty much the era when I started really getting heavy into music, and you know,
When did you pick up an instrument?
that was right about then too, about 8th grade.
Guitar?
Yeah, I was, of course,
Was it Eddie
Learning.
Van Halen?
learning Nirvana songs because they were 3-chord songs, you know, and you could tune your guitar somewhat to them and play and sound kind of good. So, yeah, pretty much self-taught.
That's cool too.
Did you have like Eddie or Randy or anybody like, even though you was 3-chord, like, oh my God?
I've never really been in the lead, any kind of crazy
Yeah.
lead stuff. I'm not a lead guy. I mean, I appreciate it. I think it's awesome. I just know it's completely out of my wheelhouse. I don't even
Right.
try. You know?
Well, I mean, for me, even Eddie's rhythms was just, man.
oh yeah.
I mean,
yeah. There's a lot of 80s rock
Man.
that I was into, too. You know, Rat. Listen to a lot of Rat.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
my
man.
first show. I love them
it.
guys.
That was the band that got me into
Me
it really
too.
heavy. You know,
Yeah.
Out of the cellar.
Out of
So
the
you
cellar,
make-
man.
yep.
Lack of
Invasion of
communication.
privacy,
One of my
yeah.
favorite songs.
Oh, man.
That is a great
That is a
tune.
good one. That's what
That
they were-
was that whole album was good though, man. But
It
that
was.
one's definitely one
And
of
then,
my
like, you
more
know,
Wanted
favorites.
Man.
That's when you kind of still had Headbangers Ball still on MTV,
That's right.
so you could kind of see some of them bands that you wouldn't hear anywhere else. On
That's right. And you were a little bit younger than
Yeah,
me.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
you're my youngest brother's age, but I know he remembers it. Do you remember Channel 23 Music Magazine with Billy Soul?
I remember that.
And it was we didn't have cable, so that was where we saw videos, and he played
I
a little
probably
bit of
watched
everything.
it though. I remember Channel 67 here in Canton had the
Yep.
Cool Ghoul and all that shit.
Yep, we used to watch that too. But Channel 23 had like this little music magazine thing that they did, and they played just the weirdest shit. You never knew what you were getting. And that was the first time I saw a rap video. They had a video for Wanted Man, and that was the first rap video I ever saw. And what was that other Dancing Undercover? That was a good one too.
Yeah, that was all right.
They were starting. That's
Yeah,
where
it's-
you know
yep.
what I mean. That's kind of
Mhm.
where the change was starting.
It
to
was.
happen. Grunge wasn't there yet, but it was on its way. Everybody was ready for it.
Yeah, because it was like, now what?
Yeah, right.
It had
took the-
reached.
It took the technicality out of
Mm-hmm.
the 80 rockers. You know what I mean? I think it.
And I was falling in love with some of that new stuff that Trent Reznor was doing, like 9 Inch Nails. Like that blew my mind. I was really into that.
Dennis, Ed brought some books for you here.
Oh yeah, that's right. I got some really cool fighter stuff. You'll dig. We had a nice conversation about that the other night. We need to have him on. He's got some great
Yeah.
stories too.
He's got some stories. All right.
So what can we expect on Sunday when you come in and play live? What kind of stuff are you doing now?
All 90s stuff, man. A lot more radio than the grunge era, but yeah, familiar things that everybody knows and have probably forgotten about. I'm trying to keep it playing the things that nobody else is really doing around here because I can't hear a wagon wheel every time I go
Right.
see somebody play acoustic. You know what I mean? Right? So I'm trying to mix it up, and
I can't wait. I love acoustic.
I'm doing it more for me also, because like I said, there's just songs I don't want to play. I refuse to, and
The ones everybody else's are doing.
I think that I picked a good mix that, you know, I don't get sick of playing them, and people know them, and they're familiar enough that.
And they're not tired of hearing them because that's what everybody else is playing.
Yeah.
What bands?
Stone Temple Pilots. I do some Nirvana. I do some Soundgarden. Some Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's tons of stuff. The Pixies.
Nice.
Ah, nice. We were just talking about them at Dennis. Dennis, Pixies.
There's just tons. I can't even think of.
That's awesome, man. I can't wait.
So yeah, we usually go about an hour Chicken Coop live, but Jeremy said he might go a little bit longer. Depends
Yeah,
on
if
how
we're
y'all
lucky,
doing
right?
out there.
That's right. If you guys tune in and check it out, and we have a viewing audience, it could get really cool, really quick.
He gets to getting down.
So your first instrument was guitar, and you said that you're playing everything on this track that you're going to be doing on Sunday.
Yeah.
What was your next instrument?
Bass. I met a couple of buddies, Dan Kimball and Brian Lipinski, who I played with my entire life then. They were learning how to play guitar too and needed a bass player, and we, of course, wanted to start a band. You know,
Right.
had to be a band. So I bought a cheap bass guitar and just learned how, you know, I was following them, root notes. And then we found a couple drummers that sucked. And kind of stopped doing what we were doing just because we didn't know what we were doing yet.
Right.
And then we started getting a little bit more serious, and I started stepping up and actually doing some songwriting, which came super easy to me. And we didn't have a drummer, so I went and bought a drum set and learned how to play drums horribly. And we started our first band.
Isn't that how it always goes?
I think that was in
when you pick up an instrument, you start horribly,
95, I think, was
painfully.
when we first started playing out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you went to drums out of necessity. That's wild.
Yeah.
I started horribly and ended horribly with everything I tried.
I don't care though. If you end up doing the drums, that ends up making you a better musician all
I
the way
think it
around.
does too, man. I think that's the hardest instrument to actually play.
But then it gives you that sense of in the pocket timing shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Drums are the thing. If you got it, you got it. If you don't, you're
Yeah,
never gonna
forget
get it.
about
man.
it.
Nope.
That is right.
Either got it or you don't.
I always followed the drums as the singer. Like I was right up there watching Mikey. If everything else fell apart, I could follow Mikey.
Right. That's what I do. That's what I've learned to follow the drummer. As long as he's in there, you're in there.
It's gonna make the band too. You know?
Now, did you take like music in school?
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope. Taught myself how to play and just learned everything by ear after that. Learned tablature.
That's what my brothers and all my friends did too.
Yeah.
That tablature, man, was a big thing in the late 80s and 90s there.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, Guitar World, man. You had
Oh, yeah.
6-8 songs in the back of it. You could
Right.
try to learn.
I remember Hit Parade or reading all the lyrics out of that. And Circus.
Then they come out with that, damn, what the hell program was that where it does the tab for you? Shit.
I know the one you're talking about because Steve used it. all the
Yeah.
time.
You just beep, 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 and it would show you and play along with
Wow.
it. Tab something or another.
It's really amazing
Something
how
tab.
far we've come as far as the different teaching tools that are available to the wannabe musician.
I have met a lot of new
Man, YouTube.
new guitar players that have learned how to play guitar from Rocksmith and Guitar Hero or whatever, that
Right.
shit, the video games. You know what I mean? They actually
right.
are good guitar players from that.
Right. That
And
was
then they
another
get on
thing.
YouTube and there's, whatever you want to do is on there.
Right?
Whatever kind of lesson or whatever.
And then you always have the behind the music type shows to learn how not to do it.
Mm-hmm. If we pop out for some strange reason, stick around and come back, we'll re-pop the streaming because every now and again.
Is it glitching?
No, I'm just saying.
I'm watching the thing now. You've got me compulsively looking at it to make sure it's moving, so I know we have
Right.
audio.
Well, you got to around here.
He's in there shredding, man.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was there anything else that you were into real heavy besides music?
Skateboarded a lot. I think that's just the point in time in my life when I kind of changed everything. I went from being into sports and that kind of shit into kind of getting in trouble and listening to rock music and skateboarding and
Right.
smoking pot,
Trouble
and
gets
drinking. You know,
How many bones you
I
break?
loved that whole world.
all of them.
All of
All
them.
of them. Yeah. Got chipped bones and twisted ankles and broken fingers and.
I carried the launch ramps because I was kind of a big dude. I couldn't skateboard at all. I couldn't walk and chew bubble gum. But I love that whole
Wasn't that
culture.
good, but I tried.
Like that whole culture, man.
Yeah, I mean that's what it was. Was just I got tired of doing the same shit everybody else did back then. You know, I'm from New Philly, Dover area, so it was pretty limited on what we had to do
Yeah,
for fun.
you guys were out there.
You know Stevie Russell?
Oh yeah.
He's a buddy of mine.
Oh yeah, that's how. Yeah, you guys did the rigging stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I went to
Didn't
school with
even
Steve.
realize.
Went to school with
Apparently,
Steve.
he's in jail right now.
Oh, I was just in jail with him a couple years ago.
I was like, man, where's Stevie been? We didn't know.
I just
Now we know.
ran into the reason he went to jail at Walmart the other day. Have you seen Stevie? No. Well, he's in jail. Well, clearly I wouldn't have seen him then, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, man. That guy, I don't know about him sometimes. I love the kid, but
Yeah.
damn,
Now,
bro.
whenever you picked up the drums to do that, was that your first band that played out?
Yeah, that was Stitch, 95.
Good year.
And metal band. I wrote pretty much all the music of that and some of the lyrics, but it was pretty basic when we started out. But we always had a big fan base. We always had a basement packed full of people when we practiced, and they always said, you know, it wasn't that we were good, but we didn't just play the same riff over and over. We actually had changes and bridges, and you know what I mean?
Right.
Some lead work and stuff like that. So, but we did that for maybe about a year, and then we got our main drummer after that, Josh Kissinger, who played drums in a church when he was a kid, you know, and he's like gets up behind my set and just killed it, you know. And we're like, yeah, you're gonna be the drummer. So then I just started screaming after that, and
So then you switched over to
yeah,
vocals?
yeah, I pretty much did everything that just needed done. You know what I mean? There's a spot that needed filled, I did it.
Just like this guy right here.
Yeah, I was
You
going to
know?
say that's kind of the way how it ended up for me.
Yeah, that's definitely good to have in a band, you know.
You guys that are able to play multiple instruments, I've always been envious of. I just wanted to play one, and I just could never do it. And I tried, I gave it the time and stuff, but I think it was like ADHD type thing when it came to music. I could just never do it. I love listening to it, I love music, but could never play it.
Wow, that's just crazy.
It is, and now I hear my son, you know, shredding over
I
my
know.
shoulder here, and I love it. It's like he's doing everything I wanted him to do, you know? Our kids really are like the best reflections of us. Sometimes.
Sometimes?
Well, I know mom and dad would disagree.
I'm going to say I'm proud of Jimmy, man. That dude,
Yeah, and
my youngest son, that kid can play anything and just kill it.
It's
Of course,
really,
he didn't, I mean, he went to school and marching band and all kinds of different classes on different instruments, so he definitely put his time in, but boy, it
He
shows.
is a lover of music, and he plays a lot of different kinds. He's comfortable sitting on the drums, and then I see him playing bass. You know, he's just
Right.
like you guys.
Keyboards
He's
and
fluent.
a bunch of different genres.
Now, do you play keys? Do you play piano? at all?
No, I
that
can
next?
I can mess around with it. I do a lot of it on my computer, in Fruity Loops. I can't actually physically play. You know what I mean? Never really tried, but yeah, that's something that
It's another percussion. I figured.
something that I might try. That's another thing with drums, man. It's just that doing two things with different limbs is it's either you got it or you don't.
That's
man.
It takes a minute.
That's right.
Yeah, my son, he's 22. He plays. I taught him pretty much all the major and minor chords on acoustic when he was like 10, 11. I didn't want to push him too hard. I
Right.
just showed him and he remembered them. And,
Well, if you show them
Played.
and they take interest,
and then
they'll come
then he
back.
quit playing for a while. Then he picked it back up, and he's pretty damn good.
Nice.
He's surpassed me, that's for sure.
It's really cool to see our kids do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And they usually do it better too.
Yeah.
More style.
Look out, old man. Let me
That-
show you
that
how to
he's,
do
he's
this.
not trying to impress anybody. He's playing what he wants to play, writes his own stuff. And,
Right. That's the best
Yeah.
thing, man. Originals to me, because I played many years doing cover tunes and all that. And don't get me wrong, I love it, but man, it ain't nothing like when you're playing your own song and
song.
everybody's into it. You know,
Right.
there's just nothing like that feeling.
I love it all. I love it all. I just love live music.
Mhm.
We've been going out and seeing all these bands together, lately, and it's so crazy to me. It just, I don't know. There's something about seeing live bands.
it's a shame that it's not like it used to be.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that COVID.
right,
Venue wise and everything, man. It's just-
right, and that's what we were talking about the other day. And that's kind of why we're doing what we're doing with the whole Sunday thing. We want to get more bands involved, so this becomes a regular thing.
Sure, yeah.
And word's getting out. That's for sure. We're talking to more people.
Dadgummit, I was just thinking of something. I should have wrote it, but I didn't.
Yeah, you got your thing
I know.
way out of reach. You need to push it up there.
Yeah,
You can
that's
reach it.
true. That's true.
That's your pencil.
I thought of something once, but now it's gone.
Well, and we start out like this. That's all right. We'll find our rhythm.
No, it was pertaining to whatever the hell we was just talking about.
When were you down at the schoolhouse? It wasn't with Stitch? You said you were in the basement with that band, or were you over at the schoolhouse then? Did you play at the schoolhouse at all?
In Waco?
In Waco?
No, we'd go there and watch a ton. I think, they were Riphead at the time. But yeah, we've been there a few times. Never practiced there.
No.
No.
It seems like every band spent some
Yeah.
time in that dungeon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We were
That
down-
place was cool as fuck, though.
It was.
It
man.
was.
It was. It was so haunted,
It was a creepy place, boy.
we would go
Yeah, I
down
don't-
there. We were at one end.
And when at
Tom was at
nighttime.
the other end.
Yeah.
And what
I
a
don't know who
long
owned
walk.
that, but that was pretty cool to.
I think I think it's still the same dude. I thought. I
Now,
heard
if it had
somebody
been
say-
me, though, I would have had the gymnasium opened up and I'd have been doing gigs, bro.
yeah.
Right.
He was stupid for not
Yeah.
doing that.
There was a lot of talk, but I think there were issues with
Sure, that's liability shit. yeah.
right.
Mhm.
people
Well, yeah,
wanting
you
to
gotta get that
up on
straight.
stage and all that, and jump off. Somebody
Right.
breaks a limb, you're
Yeah.
liable. The fine print.
Yeah, but he's got everybody else in there with them bands. If you fall and break a limb, it ain't no different.
Well, but you're opening up to it when you bring in 200
Right,
or
yeah.
150
Yeah,
or
I mean,
whatever.
Still, I would have made
Yeah,
that
that
happen
place-
myself.
That place is cool, though, man.
When we were talking about Sadie's before we came on the air, and that's another one. I seen somebody doing
Carriage
something
House.
there, and yeah, in the carriage house, all those places were really cool, and they're non-existent now.
Mhm.
I don't know what else is out there because really haven't
There's a couple places, but
right.
I mean,
of
Carriage
them
House is gone, right? They
yeah,
tore it
yeah,
down.
yeah, it's gone.
The fact
gone.
that Sadie Renee's has sat there empty for that many years, is
Oh man, and
Don't make no sense,
No.
really.
Ace Frehley played there. Dimebag was on
Mhm.
that stage.
I still got the picture up there. Hey, Mike,
We need to go
I
see
got
them
your
out
picture
yet.
of Dime up there still.
Had to take it to one of their shows.
I didn't really want to take it out and take a chance
Mhm.
on getting it beat up or anything. I guess
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to
right.
put it in a frame and get it back to him.
That's
That was when Dime
Oh,
was
that
at
was
Sadie's. Yeah, see it up there?
Yeah, I remember that. Wasn't there, but I remember hearing about
I
it.
wasn't either. I was
I
so
wasn't
mad.
either.
Oh, I was
I
so
was,
know,
mad.
right?
Cowboys from Hell were
Yep,
playing. over
yep.
there?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I heard all about it. I wasn't there though.
Good shit.
Good place.
But yeah, always talking about that carnival of chaos out there at the carriage house earlier. That's what I was trying to think. What the hell was we talking about that for? That was the first place I got my son Tommy's band open up for Psycho Stick. That was the first time I seen them. What a great show! If you ever get a chance to go see them guys, oh, they're funny.
Is that who's he practicing with tonight?
Oh, I don't know who he's with tonight.
Oh, okay.
That Psycho Stick, they're from Chicago, I think.
Now, the first band you did, were they strictly? You were saying death metal earlier. Was that a death metal gig?
Which one?
The first one.
Yeah, we played metal. I think Stitch was from like 95 to 98. And yeah, I'd say it's about that. I graduated in 98, so we were about done then, and we took a couple years off and started a band called Pummel Hog, which was just even heavier and faster. And we played a lot of big gigs with that band too. Opened up for a lot of national acts.
Like who?
Soylent Green. I can't
It's
even
made
think.
out of people.
Can't even think of. Yeah.
Right. You said Cannibal
That's
Corpse.
crazy, 'cause
Was
I always
Cannibal
thought-
Cannibal Corpse
then?
was. I
always
don't know
thought
if
that'd
we
be a
played with Cannibal Corpse again in Pummel Hog or not, but that was a huge day for us in Stitch when we got to play with Cannibal Corpse. That was pretty amazing.
Monumental.
It was a big death metal fest, World Series of Metal or something like that in Cleveland, the Agora, and just to hang out. It was like 30 bands all weekend.
Who else
and
was there?
I can't even remember.
Oh,
Tons,
man. I kind
tons,
of remember people talking
tons and
about
tons.
that.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big deal. But yeah, we got to meet them, hang out with them, and they, stood side stage and watched us while we played, which is pretty unnerving.
Right.
Looking over
man.
and seeing
Like,
like
oh shit,
the biggest band
watching
in
you.
metal.
They were huge.
Yeah.
They were the it band.
I mean, they're still touring and big, but yeah.
right.
There's
Them,
just so much more that's branched off since then.
Deicide, Entombed,
Yeah.
Morbid Angel.
I said that
Yeah.
at one show. Me and Daryl went to Destruction. We walked up on. It was at the Agora. The what's that little room?
The ballroom.
Yeah, the ballroom.
Yeah, that's where this was.
And we just act like we was working there and walked up while Destruction was playing. It just was like stage right, man, almost on stage, and nobody said a damn thing.
That's so cool. You get to be that close.
It's nice when you know, like me, I knew, being a stagehand, it's like I know the body language and how to maneuver yourself up there and make it look like you are working or something.
Grab a couple
The
chords.
bandmates kind of looked at us funny a couple times because they look, what the fuck you guys doing up there, Ian? What, you don't belong to our shit. Well,
Why are you holding those
it was
cords?
funny. Right.
That's good. I can totally see you doing that, dude.
Cable paging and shit. Camera guy.
That is funny shit. And I gotta drop a quarter because you made me say shit.
Now you got to drop two.
Oh, I said it.
Mm-hmm.
Shot.
But now you're getting into my quarters. More.
No, that was mine.
Oh,
I had 4.
okay. What's this one? Oh. Sometimes I guess some of these quarters. Been looking for them 71s.
Now
yeah.
besides, like,
Yeah, them 71s people pay up to $6 or $8 for. I shouldn't be saying this.
It's way too
'Cause
shiny.
then everybody will snatch them up. Everybody wants them for them Eddie Van Halen Frankenstrats. That's what's on there, a 71.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Just a regular 71, you know, $8, $9. That was a couple years ago. They're probably $10, $15 now.
I never heard that.
I mean,
Look up secret.
you got to find those guitar guys, obviously, that are building them Frankies, but there's a
Right.
lot of people out there doing it. And
Yeah.
you know how many 71s are out there, especially if these guys are drilling holes and putting them on guitars.
Yeah. Huh. Now, do you do anything else creative? I mean, you're into music. Do you paint or draw?
I
or
draw. Yeah, I've
sculpt?
always drawn. I do a lot of computer graphic work, flyers and stuff like that. Yeah. Printed T-shirts for a long time,
Nice.
about 10 years.
I used to do all the band
I
flyers.
get a real artist vibe from you. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
You seem like a real utility guy that can do it all.
I definitely drew a lot as a kid and growing up. Yeah,
I
kind of
noticed,
slacked off with it as an adult. But yeah.
a lot of artists spend a lot of time alone when they're young, drawing, and doing the whole creative stuff,
Yeah, I
and,
think
and
that's-
learning their recipe.
I think that comes from kind of being alone. You gotta
Right,
find
right.
something to do so you don't go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's that creative spirit.
Yeah.
I guess I drew some stuff when I was a kid. I didn't realize it. And after I got mom's shit, you know, piled up and digging through it, like, wow, I drew that? Holy shit. Like, it was
Right.
amazing, some of the stuff that I was like, wow, I was like that young drawing this. I
Right.
never thought I was an artist, but like apparently I was. Didn't even realize it, man. Like,
liked it. I always
had no idea.
drawings and writing. I was a
Yeah, I
writer.
think that was a kind of a reason I went the way I did in high school, middle school too, because I was meeting people that were drawing and artistic and you know playing instruments. and-
beautiful.
So yeah, it's kind of nice to know there's other people out there that are
and that's the
as
other
weird
thing.
as you. You
That's
know.
right. And you meet that commonality, man. That's how you make your tribe. We've talked about that too.
Mm-hmm.
We've got our own tribe. We're doing
Right.
right now. We're trying to do something right now, in the moment.
Just had a tribes member walk in.
Right. We are doing it. I can't wait till Sunday to hear you play, bro.
Right
Hey,
on.
I heard you got that Alvarez, man. I was like, oh, he's got a good
Can't wait to
guitar.
do
He
it.
knows his shit.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. It's been a minute since we went live. Those were always my favorite days. Tom's
Yeah.
Chicken Shack.
Mm-hmm. Where we talk shit about shit.
I really like that name, Tom's Chicken Shack Records. Down at the
Chicken Shack.
Down at the
It
chicken
just
coop.
sounds like Crab Shack.
Yeah. What's the studio's name? You have one?
Media Farm.
The chicken coop.
Yeah, the chicken coop, basically.
That's what it's been
That's-
referred to since day one, and I love the backstory that he told me behind it because he said that you tell it.
Well, when I was younger, this is not the original house. It was a smaller house in the front of this, which back in the day used to be a post office outpost, and it was about slightly bigger than a one-car garage with a basement in it. And it was always jam-packed, but when I was in school, they'd always make fun of me. You live in a chicken coop. So now, I'm going to turn it into a
Dynasty.
thing.
It's
Yeah.
a dynasty.
So now I can laugh back at them and say, look what the chicken coop did,
Check out
motherfucker.
my chicken coop. How you like my chicken coop now? Tom's Chicken Shack Records.
Thanks for the idea, you bastards.
The media farm where we grow the hits.
Yep.
I like that. Catchy.
Yep. So we're gonna do some music, and we've already put out 2 songs. An old tune Ed did, and a song that one of my buddies did, and I put guitars to it. We put them out. We've got other things in the works.
That's why I was asking if you had any originals because we're going to be
Yeah.
recording with the OBS system he's got and everything. Or is that how you did that hard recording?
No,
through
when
the
I
board?
do multi-track, that's Adobe Audition.
'Cause it
OBS is for the
sounds-
live stream
It
stuff.
sounds so good through the earphones, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to hear it. Then you really got your stuff down now because the sound is really
Yeah,
tight.
it takes a
Tight.
minute
It's tightening up.
dial it in.
Well, we were talking about that too. The perils are going live. Going live. And I'm watching.
What
We're
can
still
go
bumping.
wrong
We're gonna
will.
have- Right,
That's
right.
If it's gonna go wrong, it's
Yep.
gonna go wrong.
I gotta get. We got the as far as the whole band just about dialed in. There's like a couple little more tweaks, so I'm gonna get Classic Drive down here, and them guys are gonna we'll probably spend a good couple hours in here and get it super dialed in, and
Right.
then they'll do a stream.
Oh, and you got this young man right here to do that acoustic thing
Mhm.
on
Yeah, bud.
Sunday. That's gonna be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna be very cool, man. So you were in like the real hardcore stuff, and what you're going to be doing on Sunday sounds like
yeah.
really different
Yeah,
from that.
definitely.
So
Definitely
did you,
no screaming.
When did you kind of make that change from the really
I mean,
hard
I
stuff?
always, even when we were doing the metal and the heavy punk stuff, I was still always into acoustic guitar and knew that I could sing pretty good. And
Were you in choir?
no,
No.
I think I just listened to enough Beatles as a kid that I know how
It
to
just
sing.
got into your blood. That's amazing.
But yeah, I mean, I do have some originals. I still have a lot of original punk and metal songs that never got recorded. Like I said, I've had studio since like 2008. I went under Attaboy Studio was the name of it, and I recorded probably 60 bands around here. And,
Nice.
full lengths and
Nice.
splits, and yeah. So I've definitely had a lot of experience doing that, and know a lot of the people around here. I have now kind of gotten out of it because it's
It's a lot.
become way more of a hassle
Mm-hmm.
and unenjoyable than it was. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were talking about. We want to try and keep it fun.
I still like to try to do a couple albums a year with buddies. But yeah, I don't advertise it anymore.
I've discovered, which kind of what gave me the light bulb in my head that went off was Falling in Reverse. You probably know Tyler, right? The bass player that used to be in the band Assault from around here.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, they was buddies of mine or whatever. But this dude started doing one song at a time. Instead of trying to do a whole album, you do one song because you can focus all your energy on this one song to get it written, produced, all done, video, everything. You ain't spending your energies
Right.
on all these different songs, pulling yourself away where you could put all your energy into the one song. And I was like, damn, that's a fantastic idea. And then because you know as well as I do, when you got a bunch of songs, you got to go through all the drum tracks, all the guitars, and it's like it gets monotonous when you got a bunch of songs. So if you go one at a time, it's almost like you can get it done faster and much better. And I was like, what a freaking great idea. Yeah. And that's kind of the formula that I'm going to start with now. We're just going to do a song at a time. It just seems like it goes faster that way.
When I was doing full albums, we would usually try to get all the music done in a weekend, Friday or Saturday night. So they would come to my house, set up, we'd mic everything, and we'd bust through. Like you're saying, you're doing each song, so everything sounds, the same-ish on the album. That would be the one thing that I think would be hard, doing one song at a time, miking everything up, doing a song, tearing down and miking up again in another date. You never get that same tone as you did on the drums, or you know what I mean? I mean,
if you're in the same room with the same mics, I mean, it might vary because obviously the barometric pressure and all that shit does change things a little bit.
Anytime you move a microphone, it's off a little bit, whatever. But yeah, it's.
But at the same time, I don't think it's that much of a difference to where.
Right.
I mean, does it really? Because I watched an interview where Neil Peart was talking about that, where he used to be real, like, change the snare out, change the mic out, every other, every song on a different snare, different microphone. He goes like, that's bullshit. He goes, if you find a snare that sounds good and a mic that sounds good, fucking use that. He goes, all that other shit is ridiculous. It's time-consuming nonsense. It's like, damn, I never thought about it that way because I was like, yeah, let's experiment. You know what I mean? It's like, shit. And when you find something that sounds good, that's what you use.
Dealing with the temperamental artist,
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, plus he's got the gear and time and money to
obviously.
do that.
Right.
But even like, on that aspect with the gear, with the money, it's like sooner or later, it becomes monotonous. You just, get the shit recorded and get it out there.
Right.
Is the name of the game. There's only so much time on this rock that we have. You know what I mean? You better use it wisely because it's running out fast.
I'll tell you, and that is no lie. You got to do it now.
Mm-hmm. It always says you got to do it now because the future's getting moldy waiting on you and the past is already gone.
Right. We're trying to do something right now. We're trying to get people excited about it. And it is having a little bit of an effect, it feels like. I mean, we're getting people.
Well, more people's getting hip to it because now he's going to go like, man, that was cool, man. You know what I mean? Because, I think it is.
Everything always takes a minute to take
right,
off.
Right. And like, we're only on 11, so, what more do you want?
Right. And we are following kind of a pattern. We wanted this to be a platform for musicians. That's first and foremost what we want because we both love music. And the big thing for us, and you'll see it Sunday, is when he's got that camera in his hand and we're going back and forth. It's just watching that little screen, we're so dialed in, just putting on a good show. And we want to expand that. We've actually been going out and checking out legitimate dancers.
Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier that I didn't write down. I was going to say we're starting to get people that's going to give us prizes or whatever, gift certificates and shit like that. So we can get this karaoke and dancing thing going.
Yeah, right. We want to have like a variety show kind of a segment as well for people that don't do music, but are maybe on the periphery of music somehow,
Hell yeah.
And we were talking about comedians the other day too, but
we're
we're wondering how that'll transfer, this way.
That's the thing with the comedians. It's a little easier with the musician because it's almost kind of like a studio thing. But with a comedian, you usually got to have that bounce back from the crowd.
Sure. Yeah.
So we got to figure out how to work that. Either have some people here a little bit, or
a little fake laugh button.
Yeah, who knows?
Those are dead people.
But the actual person usually has to work off of actual people. You got to fill the room, and if there's nobody in the room, it might end up a sterile.
A comedian would definitely go good for this aspect, talking back and forth.
Right.
Yeah, the actual getting up there and
now, as far as the podcast goes, yes, but we was actually talking about like doing a set. So
as far as having one comedian up there with no audience.
Did you ever have anything like that in your studio? Did you ever record any spoken word type stuff?
I went to Buzzbin a long time ago, and they had like 4 or 5 comedians, and I recorded them live. That's the only thing I've ever done with comedy. That was pretty cool.
I think that was probably them girls. The
It was Dave Sherrill was one of them, and I can't remember who else. But it was pretty
comedy
good.
girls of Canton or whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, there was something that was
We gotta
somebody was
get-
telling us
yeah.
about. They were showing us video the other day.
Oh,
And they're
yeah?
like, you got to go down and check these 4 ladies out. They're
Huh.
really good, and yeah, and George's.
Mm-hmm.
They say George's is really hopping right now. So I know they got a badass burger and fries. So I'm all in.
Yeah, Tuesday
I
nights
don't know if
they're
I've ever been in there.
open mic night.
We need to go down on Tuesday, get a burger and fries, and just check out the show.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot of talent around this
Yeah,
town.
there
We just got to
is.
go find it.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're using the obvious internet channels, but not everybody's on the internet.
There's
Right.
probably a few people you could get, in touch with down there too that come to the podcast with you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome too. To have that, because it's nice to have that dynamic of that third.
Right.
It changes the tone of the conversation. Like the first 55 minutes or so before we do our little break, and then we come back with more of the craziness. Usually, that's where it kind of gets a little more nuts. Is the second hour, because we're going to get into some more crazier kind of questions, I guess. But it also opens up for whatever the guest is into normally, because not everybody's into the same thing. Some
Right.
people are into the whole UFO thing, and some people are into the whole paranormal thing, and like it's cool to see what the other interests are.
Oh, how about you?
I don't know, man.
Paranormal, UFO, Bigfoot.
I gotta have proof, man. I'm one of them
I
proof
like it all.
guys.
I
Never
like it
seen
all.
anything or nothing?
Empirical data.
I've had some weird shit happen, but I don't know if it was more drug related than it was aliens.
You never know.
Drug or
I've never
alcohol.
seen aliens, but I've said I've seen many ships. But I still say that most of what everybody sees is not from another planet. It's our own shit
Right.
that they're lying about.
Stuff the government.
Now I'm not saying there's not folks from other planets and or other dimensions. Seemingly that is more of the case from what I'm learning
Yeah.
than other planets. But I
than
still
actual
think there are other
space
planets.
travel.
But
you know?
yeah, but
I
I've
feel like
seen
if
some
there was
shit.
if there were beings that had the
I like the
means to
travel.
travel here, I don't think they would just travel here and like spy on us and stick probes in our butt. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think they're gonna come here for a reason.
I like to think that
At
they would
least
be.
make themselves known somehow.
Well, I was just watching this thing today, and it's like this dude was talking like, they come here and there was already Homo sapien walking around, and they messed with us, and I don't know.
tweaked our genetics.
Yeah.
I've heard that same argument. And it's not a bad one if you look up pre-Adamic man. It's kind of an interesting
I
one.
mean, we're the only species on this planet that can actually have this conversation right now. You know, what I mean,
right,
there's no
that's
other animal on this planet that
That we
has
know.
consciousness like us.
Right.
Why? Something happened.
Man, I love history.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you
Actually,
get into
that's
that
what
really
this dude
old
specializes in. It's that black dude that ancient.
stuff. I'm thinking,
Stuff,
I know who you're talking
ancient-
about.
I can't think of his name, man, but
Yeah.
I started watching this. He was
People
on a
love
podcast.
piecemealing
It's
him
all-
on
oh
them
man,
shows. Right.
he had an experience and then went down a rabbit hole, which led him into the ancient civilizations, and he started studying all that shit. And
That's what I
got
was
into
really
Thoth and all
interested in.
that with the emerald tablets and all that shit, man. It's pretty wild.
When you go down that Egyptology rabbit hole, it leads to some very interesting places.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about that before. The whole red mercury thing with the mummies. And then that crosses over, I think, in China. There's some kind of a monument over there that they still haven't fully been able to get into. They found all of those guys that were under all that red mercury statuary. They're life size, and they're all different.
Mm-hmm.
And it gets to the king's chamber or whatever they call it, wherever this is, and they still haven't gotten in. There's some kind of a weird poison trigger to where they just can't get in yet, even with all of our
Technology.
right,
You know.
right. And there's supposed to be something like that in India too. There's a
Well, according to this guy, that basically they said what they went and seeded here, go and show the rest of the world this technology. That's why there's pyramids everywhere and Egyptian symbols everywhere, other than just Egypt.
well, we were talking about down with Larry too. That's another good one that's really in the news lately, like on a lot of the alternate media, and it's that guy that was over in the Grand Canyon and found that.
Oh yeah,
and they say that it all disappeared or it's all under lock and key.
They say there's enough gold there to just.
And now the rumors are like, oh, it's El Dorado, and it'll throw everything off kilter, and that's why it's all locked up.
It wouldn't surprise me.
You know?
Big old mountain full of gold treasure, huh?
I try to watch the internet for entertainment,
Open sesame.
and I try to remember that. It's entertainment.
Entertainment
It's
purposes.
entertaining, that's right. It's entertaining.
It's easy to fall down a rabbit hole. I mean, it really is.
It is because they're so convincing. That's their job, is to convince you.
Oh, but what I was gonna say about dude is he said that, you know, there's supposed to be that prime directive where other civilizations ain't supposed to mess with us because we was so far, you know, we wasn't far enough yet. Well, he's saying obviously that we've been messed with here and there because you can see where we're like, and then choop, and then we'll jump up and we're like, and then choop. You know, our technology will just take a big leap, you know what I mean? And I've always said that, what do? Do we jump in ships and go somewhere and go check it out? No, we send probes out 1st, don't we? So why wouldn't them that has technologies 1,000 million years ahead of us, half the shit we're seeing, if it is theirs, is probably some sort of a probe that's watching us, not them, or some kind of AI robot thing, you know what I mean? Which they say that's what the Greys are.
Some of that
That they're manufactured here.
the historical stuff is compelling, like the Book of Enoch. Like his descriptions of the earth are from above, and with a decent amount of clarity in some instances, to where he very may possibly have seen this.
Oh, clearly.
Right. So I don't know. I'm torn on some of that stuff. Yeah. But
I mean,
I've gone down a lot of those.
you just got to go dig in and figure it out for yourself,
And
because there's a lot of it.
It's one giant rabbit hole at the end of the day. You know, the whole.
It all leads back to the same spot, though, really.
Oh, some instances, yes. Absolutely.
I'll just leave it at that and let you do your own investigation.
Right, and we went nice and sideways right in time to take the break, and
Is
we
it
can
that
kind
time?
of
No,
like.
it ain't ready yet.
It isn't?
No, we're only 47, man. Come on.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought
You're
we
looking
were
at the
right on
wrong
time.
clock, man.
I thought we were on time tonight. I'm sorry.
We was on time. That's weird.
Okay, you're right. Maybe I am looking at the wrong clock. They're everywhere. And I'm not seeing the cameras flip like I usually do.
Well, it's
over
because
there,
we
so
don't have
I know.
nobody to flip them.
I know, right? We don't have our flipper. We still needs our people.
Larry's not with us today.
And you've totally taken me off topic now, and now I'm thinking about all that crazy stuff, messing with our genetics and everything else.
Sure.
You know, it's. I'm not going to say it's out of the realm of possibility. We've had these conversations, you and I.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I don't know.
I mean, anything can happen, man. I gotta see some proof before I start believing all kind of crazy shit. you
Right.
know?
The UFO
right.
shit,
I
I've
agree.
seen
That's
them.
just how I am.
Me
I like
too.
to think in those weird ways.
I
but
like to think,
yeah.
right? You
I like to
know?
hear what the options are, but I need.
You got to hear both sides. I heard this monk talking the other day where if you want this, look at this. Look at the other extreme. And
Well,
that's
yeah,
how
you
you'll
gotta
figure
look
out
both
how to
of them.
get
You
where
have
want
to.
go. And it's like, wow, that is.
You got to
really,
look at all
yeah,
options.
at its root. Just break it down and just take a look at both sides. And then pick which one works for you.
If it wasn't for the fact that I've seen this shit with witnesses, I probably would question myself. But I've seen it in the daytime, at nighttime, and not on drugs or none of that shit. Totally straight, with people that didn't even do drugs. And it was like, damn, I ain't never seen no Bigfoot. So, but with the proof I've seen and the way that you can use that proportional DNA,
Well, and I'm not going to say necessarily Bigfoot, but Sasquatch.
or whatever you want to call
there
it.
are some.
There's some kind of
very
wood giant running around there. I promise you.
interesting Native American stories about that stuff. There's very interesting.
And as far as ghosts go, shit, let me take you to the old house I lived
Really
in. I don't know what's going on over there, but
explorers.
there's something supernatural going on over
The
there.
early explorers also wrote about these giants, like hairy beings, and there
Well,
were
there's-
illustrations in some of these books from the 1700s.
They found bones and shit. You know what I mean? There's proof of that.
And like I was holding these books in my hand because we're a book dealer, and I just love historical stuff. So when I see it, I just buy it all, And there are arguments for all of it. But I'm like you.
Yeah, I
wanna-
mean,
why aren't we seeing some?
Boy,
There's
modern
Larry. I'm
pictures,
here,
you
just
know?
not here.
how do
I
those
didn't
stories
know.
keep going?
What you mean you
know
didn't
what I
know?
mean?
It's Wednesday,
Something's
my
doing
If
that
there's
fire.
not some kind of proof throughout the years, how does that story keep going for
Right.
hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years?
Right.
You know?
I think it's primordial because they're here just like we are.
Hell
but
yeah.
I think that they're interdimensional. I don't think they're visible necessarily on the norm, but I think sometimes they maybe either have to be or want to be visible.
I think it's more of a wannabe.
That's- I
Or,
mean, that's
or
what I
well,
would think.
sometimes they get caught and they don't realize it.
Or that. I mean, with the phones,
Because
the
if
way
you
they
watch
are,
that one, that one, if
You
you
could
go on
fake a lot
YouTube
of
and
shit
punch
now.
in, I think I saw a skunk ape. This dude, there is no way that's faking shit, bro. This thing's squatted down in this tree and it's ripping like, and I mean, it echoes through the whole freaking swamp,
Well,
dude.
and-
And then what we didn't realize after, because Thinker Thunker redid the video and analyzed it. There's like a baby. It gets this baby out of the tree, and this dude's filming it. And if you get to the original video, not the ones that everybody else has put, but the original, you can hear that dude's breath. He's freaking out, dude. And when that thing stands up, he is gone, bro. Like he's shitting himself. And it's a massive
unlike
creature,
our
dude.
guest, I'm skeptical, healthily skeptical, I think.
I was,
But-
until Thinker Thunker come up with that proportional DNA, man.
a
You
lot
can't
of
get in a
this-
monkey suit and change your arms and legs to what they are. You can't.
A lot of the sound videos without visual, that's pure Hitchcock. It's not what you see, it's what you don't see.
Yeah,
it
but
scares the
another
hell
thing
out of
on those, when they put that shit on them voice spectrum analyzers, and they do it with every other animal, it's got its own specific
Its own sound.
pattern on there. There ain't nothing else like it. Now, I'm not saying it's a Bigfoot or what it is, but whatever it is, it's its own thing. I'll tell you
It's
that.
unidentifiable.
Right.
Unidentifiable.
And it's
Yeah, I mean,
and
I hope that kind of stuff's real. I just don't want to find out by myself alone in the woods.
Exactly, man.
Yeah,
I don't-
that-
you know,
would shit, man. That's what everybody says. Well, why don't you get a picture of it? Or why ain't nobody shot it? Because when you see a creature that's a monster like that, that everybody's telling you it's not real, you're shitting your pants.
know.
You're shaking. That's why all these cameras are shaking and fucked up, because you're shitting your pants, dude. Like, really?
I'll give
You're
you-
seeing something that's not supposed to be.
I'll give you my paranormal scare story. I had a blood clot in my right lung, and I had to walk from my friend's house, which is out by the apple orchard, all the way to my mom and dad's house that was in town in East Canton, about 2 miles all in. And there was this little valley you had to walk down, and then a hill, and then it kind of leveled out for about, I don't know, 80 yards maybe, or 60 yards, and then it went down another huge hill that ultimately went into town. You dead-ended at Merit Plastics or whatever it was called, Alpha Enterprises. And as I crested the top of the hill, there was myself. I saw my doppelganger. And the first thing
That
I
would
thought was,
freak you out.
I'm looking at myself right now. Was the first thing that came to my mind. Same height. And at the time, I was wearing these black boots, and the one buckle would ring like, when I walked. His was too. When we got to each other, he was on one side, I was on the other. We both had on blue jeans, black leather jacket, black biker boots. And we were both wearing our sunglasses. And I said, sup. And he said, sup at the same time.
Whoa.
We were walking to the same speed. When I got to the hill, I finally had the balls to look back. And I turned around, and he turned around, and I ran like hell all the way into town with a blood clot in my right lung. And I drove myself to the ER.
Freaked you out, did it?
Oh, my God, dude. It freaked me straight out. I didn't know if I was seeing like I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I had a pulmonary embolism, It was, I don't know. I blame it on lack of oxygen to the brain. But I heard that. I heard his boot jingling across the street. It just really makes the hair on my arm stand up talking about
That's
it.
crazy.
It was pretty wild. But that's my, I don't know. Ghost stuff, I'm like him. I need to see it, but I don't want to see it.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I just don't want to see it by myself, alone at night.
Yeah, right. That's when that stuff usually happens.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
As
Yeah, I'm
far
not
as-
gonna stop and take a selfie. I'm running.
I'm like you.
Hold on, Bigfoot.
I've had weird occurrences, but I don't know that I would call them paranormal. You know what I mean? Because when I had kids in the house, that's another one they say draws that kind of energy around you. And when you have children, I had 3 sons, and I only had
His
my
3
namesake,
sons.
my oldest Eddie, and he was upstairs sleeping, and his mom was in the hospital with pneumonia. And I remember I went and I got a drink of water, and I came back in and laid down on the couch. But when I laid down, This chair that didn't have wheels and a real heavy steel foundation that I used at my desk across the room was right beside the couch. And I can't explain that. I just can't explain it. Like, I can't explain it. There's no wheels on it. The room wasn't tilted or anything. Like, I just can't explain that. It was a good 9 feet, 10 feet. It's clear across the room. And that always bugged me. It was always like, it was something trying to get my attention and I missed it, you know? Like, I don't know. I still can't. To this day, I can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, there's something going on in that house I moved out of over there.
I could tell by your face. Like, you're real passionate about this stuff and smelting. I know not to mess with you on because you get really.
Well, I mean, because, hey, when you experience it, because, like, I don't give a shit what anybody believes or what they think. I know what I know. I've seen what I've seen, and it is what it is.
What do you mean, like ghost-wise? Like
Ghost-wise and UFO-wise. But, yeah, paranormal shit, that other house, that fucking thing was crazy, man. There was crazy shit that went on in that house.
I mean, my brothers will.
Nothing like or hurtful or nothing like this dude was a joker, whatever spirit it was. Yeah.
They call those a poltergeist.
He was a joker. And I don't even know if it was a male-ish thing because it seemingly was always jealous of any female that was in the house.
Ooh, you're giving it a sex. Careful.
I'm just saying. It would always mess with the females more. Pinch the butt going up the stairs or tap on the shoulder, pull the hair.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I never got touched.
I would be straight out of that house, man.
I never got touched or nothing like that, but I've had shit like a key incidents one day. I was looking for my keys and I had a table right like how I do here, have a table right beside my thing. Always had, they was either there in my pocket or in my coat. And we was getting ready to leave. It's like, damn, where's my keys? Looking for it. Wow, that's weird. Go upstairs, retrace all my steps over the house. She starts looking for it everywhere. Go back to the table, move all the stuff around. There was, my phone, napkins and a couple other things on there. I mean, literally 45 minutes looking for these keys. And because I was looking for 10 minutes, then she got up, started looking for them. Then finally, we come back and sit down. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. Like, really, like, we need to get out of here. I forget where we was going. And I looked, and there was a Taco Bell napkin open, like unfolded and open. And I picked that thing up, and the keys was right there. And she shit, dude. Oh, my God. I was like, now, we both looked here like 3 times a piece, right? She's like, yeah, dude. That was one of the ones that really blew me away. Then we'd be having band practice. And we'd be in the basement, and the bathroom was in the upstairs. So you'd have to come up the stairs, go through the living room, and then go upstairs, go to the bathroom, come down, and there'd be like I had like my mop bucket, or no, it was just a regular bucket I had in the kitchen, right there at the bottom of the steps in the middle of the room. Like,
look at me.
There ain't even nobody else. Everybody's downstairs. Come up from band practice or whatever, we get taking a break. There'd be a coffee cup sitting in the middle of the floor. Now, mind you, for a coffee cup to fall out of my kitchen cabinet, I would say would probably break because my kitchen cabinet is at least as high, regular kitchen cabinet.
What are the odds of
but I was on the second shelf up, so if it fell vibrating from the band, okay, I can buy that.
So you
it
thought
would
of this.
break, right?
Right.
Or even if it didn't break, it would be probably pretty close. No, this is clear in the middle of the kitchen, standing straight up. With not a scratch on it, bro. Just shit like that all the time, man. You gotta hear footprints or like footsteps going across, knocking on the walls. You'd hear somebody walking up and down the steps and all that shit. But it didn't bother me. I was like, I don't care.
Do you
There's
remember?
Gary.
Is this the same house that would the butts would get pinched?
Yep.
Wow.
Was this the house by Sparta?
No, but that one was even worse. Now that one has some evil shit
See,
going
that
on.
one
in that
always
one,
gave
dude.
me a weird
That
vibe
one,
when
dude, I
came
tell
in
you
there,
what.
dude. I thought that's the house you were describing.
No. Now that one has some evil shit. Now that one, it was split up into 2 apartments.
Right.
And
4
it was
floors?
an old, basement, regular floor, next floor, and attic.
And the attic floor was in use, wasn't it? Isn't that where the studio was?
No, that was the
3rd floor.
upstairs.
Okay.
But it was an old farmhouse, and it used to have a stairwell that went up and turned, but it was blocked off in the bottom, and it had this. They blocked it off. They had like plywooded over it, so it looked like this big wooden shelf. If you didn't know, you'd never know there was a stairwell there. It had like, I'm assuming that they just covered up the spindles and everything because it was just like this L-shaped deal, and I never knew what it was at first when I first moved in. And that place, man, both my kids said they got held down in the beds. Every night, I wouldn't care if you was in the living room, you'd hear somebody arguing and back towards the bedrooms. If you was in the bedrooms, it sounded like they was in the living room, a man and a lady. Every night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, you hear this argument going on.
Wow.
Every night, dude.
That would mess with your head.
Yeah.
And so when I moved upstairs to the studio, I had a chick that used to come over.
Stop calling them chicks.
This lady come over that would once in a while sit in on my radio show, and she was kind of clairvoyant, and she went in to this bedroom, or first she didn't even go in the bedroom, she didn't even know it was back there, and described the whole bedroom with furniture laid out, like there was a table here and there's these steps that go down to, and described how it come down and it turned, and said that a man and a lady had an argument and somebody got thrown down the steps and died.
That's pretty wild.
And I was just like, wow, dude, it was a whole, that house was, I did not like that house the whole time I lived there,
came
dude.
to the studio, we would go up that long staircase upstairs, and that, I don't know, man, there was a suffocating kind of vibe in the room sometimes. It did. It felt like there was
I've been in places like that.
something.
Been in houses where,
I actually had
energy out. It felt
I had a security camera for when I was up there. I'd see people come to the door right there.
Right.
And that same lady came over, and we was going to smoke or whatever, and I heard the car door. I couldn't see the street. And as I heard, I could stand up and I could look out the window and I could see down on the street where everybody parked, and then I could step back and I could see my security camera. Then they got to the door. Well, I heard the car door. I looked up and seen her and dude getting out of the car and coming up. And I looked at my security camera, and all I can describe this is what the hell movie was that? It was like this beast thing on all fours that had these long dreadlocks, dude. And Hellboy, I think it was. That creature that was on there, that was on all fours, it was kind of like a dog with these dreadlocks. Oh, this son of a bitch come flying around the corner, up the steps, through the door. And like, I didn't hear it, but I seen it on the security camera, and I jumped up like, what the fuck is that? And I come running to the door, and just about that, they come running in the door. They come in the door and started coming up the steps, and I'm like this and white as a ghost. She's like, what's going on? I was like, dude. I was like, I don't know, but when you guys first got here, I said, I looked at the camera, and I don't know what the fuck this was, but I said, it come running up, and I started describing it, and she turned solid white as a ghost. I said, what? She goes, dude. She goes, 2 hours ago, I was driving in a car with some people, and she was in the back seat on the passenger side, and she said she just got this weird feeling and looked over, and she said the same exact thing I was describing was sitting right beside her in the car, and when she realized it, it stood up, and the car kept on going, and it stayed on the road or whatever.
What the what?
Yeah, and I don't know what that was to this day, bro, I guess.
Yikes.
And that shit, that really freaked me out there, dude, because
like
I didn't see it with the
follows.
naked eye, but I seen it on that security camera, and I don't know what the hell that was, bro.
We have crossed over
Ooh,
into
so yeah, I don't know, man.
another land. Right at the break. Are you going to play that outro?
Huh?
Are you going to play the outro?
Oh,
of the
you
break
mean
today?
our halftime
Our
thing?
halftime show before we
It
cut
is a
to Alex for
halftime. Yeah, it is
3 minutes?
halftime, isn't it?
My kidney is
Everybody's
saying
got
yes.
to
It's saying
pee
yes.
and do all that. Well,
Get the coffee one more
let
time,
me do that real quick here. You guys stay with them till I get that going.
and then we'll cross back over into band land, which is where we're all more comfortable. I like that paranormal stuff, but I'm like you. I think I'm not going to say proof is lacking, but some of it just looks like clever trickery.
Yeah.
And I know
I'd have to
designed
see
for
it
hits.
and experience that to the point where I'm like, okay, no, I believe that shit's real.
Right.
You know?
Right. I seen a really weird Siri one where this guy supposedly got woken up in his seat. I don't know if the security footage caught it. And she goes, look what I can do. And turned the room red. And then the door started slamming. And I'm like, that's it. I'm out. I hear
Yeah, I
something.
feel like anything can be faked on a video. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, and I don't want to be made to look a
Halftime,
fool.
kids.
Hookers and cocaine
There it
in
is.
the back room.
Sorry.
I know where I'll be. The second half of our program will begin momentarily, a little darker, slightly more sinister. Good times for all. Thank you and good night.
He just blew me away. I
Hot
wanted,
mics.
I wanted him
Hot
to learn.
mics. We're back.
We're back. Oh shit! I wanted him to learn "Unforgiven" by Kirk Hammett's the solo, because I always loved that one, and "Comfortably Numb," and he did. He played right along with him. I was like, oh my god, my kid has it. I was so proud.
So yeah, continuing on to the end of that, they ended up tearing that house down, y'all. So,
Well, there you go.
because it was evil.
Rock and roll.
So yeah, there we go. There's our paranormal touchdown, boy.
There you go. It was the first
We
time.
got it in.
First time for everything.
That was pretty cool
I'm
though,
looking for
because
my glasses.
I never told that story
I
before.
don't think I ever told my doppelganger story either. So that's good. 2 firsts.
So, where was we?
I
Musically,
seen
where
we
was
left off musically. We left off at the
I'm
good
glad
point,
you know,
the
'cause
fun
I don't-
one. So like, the groupie count. We always ask the groupie count, man. And if you're a married man, you can totally lie however you want.
Groupie
but
count?
Yeah, were groupies like present for you for the metal for you? Because I was in a metal band and we didn't see a lot of groupies. There's a lot of dudes. You know.
No groupies.
That's the way it is with metal band.
I had a lot of fans that would come and watch us that were girls, but no
Right.
groupies. I was always in a relationship with somebody, so.
I was kind of a romantic. I was that way too. I had a girlfriend or something
Me
going
too,
on,
right.
and I just that part of it never really. I mean, yeah, it is cool.
Right,
Don't get me
right.
wrong. I'm not that guy, but I don't know. I wanted substance,
Yup.
and then we always interlace that with the drug question, man. You got any good like drug fueled crazy rock and roll
Oh, yeah.
stories, man?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you've been around too. You mentioned
Tons.
some of the bands from that time period, and
Yeah.
like we were all partying together
Oh,
and
yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah.
Any good ones come to mind?
Nothing I'd really like to talk about. I don't think.
Good thing
Most
there
of 'em-
wasn't social media then.
Most of them
right?
were pretty bad if it was with me and drug use. So,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
usually is.
yeah.
Well,
A lot of bad times. We all partied.
Right.
I was the one that always took like the blunt end of everything, I think, and took too much or drank too much or you know what I
binge
mean?
drinker, man.
Give
is
it
what I
to
was.
Jeremy. He'll test
Yeah.
it.
Everybody else was partying, having fun, and I was somewhere losing my mind. So yeah, but yeah, we did them all. If it was there in front of us, we did it. That's how we were.
Did you have any trouble playing that? Type of music once you were in that other
we
place?
didn't really. We wouldn't really get that fucked up before the show.
Right.
It was always afterwards.
It was
Professionals.
responsible druggies.
Especially in high school. And now drinking's a different thing. We
Yeah.
always were drunk when we
Right.
played, but the harder shit, yeah, it was definitely
Social lubricant is what
in
I
the
call
hotel rooms or the people's houses that we were crashing at that night. Because, like I said, in high school, we'd have a show on a Tuesday, so we'd get back. We'd either stay there and not go to school the next day, or we'd get back at 2, 3 in the morning, get a
Right.
couple hours of sleep, and go to school.
Have to go to
hungover
school.
and,
Mm-hmm.
fucking high still or whatever.
I remember going to work like that, and
Oh, yeah.
oh my god, I
Yeah,
ran a clay
it's-
grinder, and it was brutal.
I mean, we're definitely lucky that we're all still alive.
No doubt about that.
That's right.
boy.
All the people that were in our clique with us, there's a few that have passed,
A
but
lot.
there's
I get tired of
a lot
saying
more of
RIP.
us. A lot more of us should not be here.
Right.
So that's a good thing.
Makes you wonder, huh?
Definitely a blessed group that's still running around and still doing it, man.
Yeah.
You're still doing it, brother.
I know. We were the
awesome.
ones that rode around with no helmets on our
Oh, yeah,
bikes and
man.
ramping all kinds of shit and getting crazy. These kids nowadays couldn't handle what we did. They'd all be dead.
It was a different time.
It's not even they couldn't handle it. The parents would get in trouble for letting them do it.
That's true,
you know what I
too.
mean? It's,
Right. It was a
Definitely
totally
that.
different time, you know.
I never once got a ride to school, and I always lived over a mile away from school. I walked back and forth every day,
Yep.
and it was nothing. Now I had a daughter who's about to be 18. She's never once walked to school.
I
because
bet.
you can't.
Right.
By that time, you weren't allowed to send
No,
your
that's
kid. You know what I
right.
mean? Like,
Well, you wouldn't want to.
yeah,
either.
it was too
I mean,
much. I mean,
shit.
there was weirdos out there when we were kids too, but yeah,
Oh.
I just wonder if it was the prevalence, you know.
I
That
think that it's
it
just
is now.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to my quarters? Did I use them all?
I think you used them all.
Damn, I'm down one.
Potty mouth.
Down one. Shit.
I'm gonna start a charity. You guys can put it in my charity, man.
I can't wait to watch him count it all up.
You know, I keep going. I've been meaning to go up there and clear it with them guys because we want to go in and film it, you know, and I'm put it on the thing, but I don't want to walk in there with cameras and
Well,
shit.
show that you actually did it, right?
Yeah,
That you
and-
followed through, man.
But I'm gonna have to stop up there one day and clear it with them to see if we can come in with the cameras.
Where do you guys sending it to?
The Humble Creatures on Cleveland
Oh,
Avenue. Yeah.
Yeah, during COVID, they helped his.
Yeah, cool. I'll check that
dog.
place out.
Yeah, they was real nice to us.
And that's
So
good,
we're
'cause
gonna,
not
we're gonna be
everybody's
real
nice
nice to
nowadays.
them.
That's right. Pay it forward.
And don't forget, we would never tell you
Ever.
to like, share, and subscribe. We're not that kind of a
And
podcast.
don't hit the bell, right? Don't hit the bell. Whatever you do, not the wet one.
But when you go back and rewatch it, though,
Yeah, then you can.
yeah,
We need to get that our subscriber list up to like 1,000 or something.
we got to have 1,000
before we can
subscribers
really get it going.
before we can do anything.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
building.
Have you guys thought about getting any kind of like local
Number 11.
advertising or?
No,
not yet.
I mean,
We just
other than when we get this thing going, like we're gonna, we got possibly the Sunrise Cafe down here gonna hook us up. The Sparta Lounge, I'm sure, is gonna hook us up. And Ed's got a couple people, so when we get
we want to
that
do this
going-
karaoke thing that actually has a payoff where people can actually get something for doing it, you know. And there's a lot of really good singers around here that aren't necessarily musicians,
right, or never
So-
be in a band or anything like that, but they'll get up
Exactly.
and do karaoke.
And we're not sticklers for genres. Whatever it is you sing,
Right, man.
you can come in here and sing it. If you can sing your ass off, come in here and show us, and we'll make you look good doing it.
That's
I-
for sure.
I can't wait till Sunday, man. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's
that's
gonna
the
be a
fun
great
part
show.
for
Don't
you
forget,
and me,
kids,
right.
Jeremy James in here Sunday
Jeremy James
for Chicken Coop Live.
Sunday.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
That sounds awesome. I love it. It's going to be fun too
Yeah, it
because
will
that's
be.
the drug for you and me. Is that live
sure
show?
is.
You know, we
It
we
show
do. We
is.
have a lot of
I
fun.
live
doing
for it.
that. And I can't
I've been
wait.
doing this shit forever, man.
and
Okay.
it's
I definitely enjoy the live performance too, man. It's cool to
It is.
actually be making some money doing it now for once in my life. You know what I mean?
now
Up,
whenever
up
you,
till a year ago, my music experience and legacy was just an expensive hobby, man. You know, I wasn't
Right.
making any money
Oh,
doing
yeah.
anything. You know how much shit costs, dude. That it's.
You,
And
unless
then you buy something and you sell it for half the price.
right,
and,
right,
yeah.
right.
oh, we were just talking
Unless
about that.
I don't know, it's hard to make money in the music business, boy.
It's the first
Unless
time
you're a
I've.
tribute band,
Right.
Yeah, and I mean
Music
that's the only reason that I'm
business.
making any money right now is because I'm playing cover songs.
right?
you know.
Yeah, which is bullshit. It really is. People just, I don't know, they don't appreciate original music
There's
until
art-
it gets,
As
know,
a bar
you
owner,
break through. I guess. I don't know,
and
it's
I'm not
weird.
a bar owner, but as a bar owner, there's arguments to both sides of that.
Right.
The patrons want to hear stuff that they can tap their foot to, click
Right.
their fingers to, and sing along with. And if you're playing shit they never heard, that doesn't happen. And then
Right.
people
Man, I
bitch.
don't know though, man, because I tell you what, the Gas Band, we've played with a bunch of different bands, and dude, we get people moving. Like
And then it comes down to that. If you're a great original
mean,
band, I mean, you can't argue
don't
that.
know,
If the
man.
booze is selling and the
Yeah,
people are having
but
fun, you
the
can't
thing
argue
about-
that.
Depends on the venue too.
But the
you
thing
know.
about the
That too,
tribute band
absolutely.
is you know what you're getting, both sides. The bar knows what they're getting, and the patrons know what they're getting, and
Right.
that's why it does so well. Because I like
That's
Bon
part of
Jovi.
it, too.
Oh, I like
They
Journey.
know how to
I like
advertise it. Sure.
Godsmack
90
or whoever the hell it is.
90% of the people that are going to be watching a live band in the bar aren't musicians, and
Exactly.
they want
That's
to
right.
sing along and they want to hear what
Familiarized,
they know,
And
you know?
Yep.
they're drinking, and they're having a
100%.
good time. That's right. And they want to dance.
Mhm.
We've seen that a lot.
Dance.
They'll dance to anything.
That's the key
Give 'em
right
beat.
there. Dance. I see you in there, Gary. Mr. Wiggles.
Hey, that's right. The ant farm's alive.
Yeah, there's some people in the ant farm
I love it. And
doing pretty good.
we got a few people tuning in. That's good. I like seeing that. And I know you do too.
Blind as hell. I know Gary said something about very good point. Our parents would have said, "Fuck you, take him home if you want to raise them." I ain't got a quarter for that F-bomb, but now I'm up down too. Out here, I'll mark it. Fun too. Hello, mate. Did you fall over? Man, we had a little scare with Al earlier, man. His blood sugar got low.
Oh my God.
Old boy turned all white and shit.
Yeah, I thought for sure it was that nasty epilepsy,
Man,
man. That was really scary.
It was kind of freaky, man.
And when you're a parent and deal with that, man, ooh,
Oh, I
your
bet.
kid having a seizure, it's terrifying.
Sure it is.
I just made him something. I was like, "Al, you hungry? Yeah, I'll have some." And I just put the plate on the table.
He was
He
saying
did
his
his
prayer.
little thing, prayer,
He was
whatever,
praying
and
over his food.
he kind of sat back and went, "Oh
I felt
man!" And
dizzy,
he was
Dad.
like, "Whew." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "I feel dizzy." And he got up and went over in the hallway and laid on the floor. And Ed's like, "What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
You all right?"
I thought he was having a seizure.
Hey.
Because
He was
last
just
time
like,
it happened real
he was
similar
like
to that,
real
we were
white.
at Walmart, and he pitched straight backwards into shelving and banged his head and everything. And when you're a parent and you have to
Oh, it freaks you out.
witness that, you know what I
Man,
mean? You can't
a
do
seizure
anything.
freaks you
Holy
out if
hell.
you're not a parent, and you're watching that shit. That is the freakiest shit, dude. Because there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, you turn them on their side.
Well, that
and
I mean,
then-
but as far as like, it's got to run its cycle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you said, you make sure they don't choke on themselves or bite their tongues and all that shit. But
You have to observe.
man, they just gotta run their cycle. Because Jimmy's done that to me. We had Alan do it in my basement. We sitting there playing. Next thing I know, I looked over and he's just like,
Yeah,
I was like,
right.
oh shit. And I ran back there. That dude weighs as much as a dump truck, dude. I couldn't get him. I couldn't. I tried to get him back behind pull him out from the drums. And then from there on out, I pulled the drums out a little further just in case, you know what I mean?
Right.
We'd have to get him out from
Right.
there. That was a scary shit, bro. And that ain't even, you know what I mean? I don't like that shit, man.
Oh, yeah.
Seizures, no, dude. That's something I don't like to be around.
When I had my first clot, it was by my heart. It was 2/3 of an inch from my heart. And the week leading up to them finding it, I had literally walked like 16 miles back and forth to Louisville like 3 or 4 times. It was 4 miles to Mom and Dad's in East Canton. And it was like after 4 of those walks, I was drinking a beer. And I thought it was the beer. I took one drink and I got instantly messed up, it felt like, that dizzy feeling. And I went, what is going on? And I was like, I think something's wrong with this beer. And I set it down, and they're like, what? And I was like, ah. And I immediately felt nauseous. And I went for the door because I thought I was going to throw up, and it was quicker to run outside on the porch than to run upstairs. And that was the last thing I remember. And I seized. And there was that clot moving in front of my heart.
Wow.
And I went down, and I remember my tailbone. You feel your tailbone get jarred when you fall straight down. And everything tuned out. It was like my brain rebooted. I saw a salt and pepper screen is exactly what I saw. I could hear, I was trying to say what happened, and all I could say was, "Wah." And my buddy said I did that for like 2 minutes or a minute and a half. And when I came out of it, he was, hey, dude, are you all right? And I was like, what the hell just
Right,
happened?
you
Had
had
a
no
million
idea,
questions,
right.
You know, and it was like, am I still alive? You know, like, what is going on? And then I went out and got some air and had a
That's a
cigarette.
freaky thing, man.
Yeah, a week later, I had a major blood clot incident, a DVT.
But that's the humble creatures. That's why I had to put the dog to sleep, because she started having seizures, man, and she had some bad ones, real bad, and we took her there. There
Traumatizing.
wasn't nothing they could do with her, and we was sitting there, you know, should we? Because man, I hate trying to play God and put some, you know, an
Right,
animal
right,
down, man.
right.
That's like
I'm the
that's
same
fuck
way.
that, man.
Harm no creature.
And while we was sitting there trying to make the decision, she had another seizure, and I was like, well, that tells me right there, you know what I mean? And it was a bad one. but I'd have to. She would know, because she'd come running up to me. You know what I mean? And she'd have this weird look in her eye, and I'd be like, "Damn, Cookie!" And I'd grab her and get her on the floor and just hold on to her, because she would try to walk around and bump into things and knock things over. And then when she was done, she'd do the same thing. She'd get up before she was stabilized and try to walk around. So I just hold her. You know what I mean? Until and then
It's a member of the family.
Man, it's
a
it was
member of the
heartbreaking,
family,
dude.
man. I'm gonna go home
Heartbreaking.
to my little Bella in a little bit, and it is. It's a member of the family.
But anyway, back to the music.
That's right. So right, from that heavy shit.
Boy, we went off the rails there, didn't
So
we?
you've played it all now, kind of. You've kind of played the real heavy stuff and some of the more mellow.
Yeah,
So
I've
what's your-
having a studio open that long. I've written rap, country, rock, punk, metal.
do you have a
whatever.
favorite after getting to
Genre?
do it all? Yeah,
Yeah, I like punk rock a lot, man.
punk rock.
Yeah, I think it's
What is
heavy,
it about it?
It's heavy enough. It still has melodic singing, still has
Right.
melodic
It ain't
notes
just
to
a
it.
bunch of noise.
And there's still songwriting.
What are some of your favorite bands, man? We started to kind of talk
Oh,
about that
man.
off camera, like, and we mentioned, No Effects.
Yeah, No
and
Effects is definitely a big one.
Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Anything off Fat Records is great, in my opinion.
I agree.
Epitaph Records, a lot of good punk rock on that. As far as metal, I like the old death metal stuff from the 90s. I like some newer, I got a point probably the 2010s where I completely lost track of all the new shit that's out there. And
There's
you know what I
just
mean?
so
Yeah,
much.
it's just, yeah.
It's almost hard to wade through.
And it's like not to the point of saturation, but it just feels like there's a lot of
Man,
repetitive.
You hit the nail right
you
on the
know,
head. That's the
nothing's
word.
really sticking out. you know what I mean?
Saturation.
And I think that's why I like the music that I like, is because it stuck out in that point in time. Those
Right.
bands stuck out. It didn't sound like anything else, So.
Right. And back then, we were kind of, you were forced to listen to what was on the radio.
Sure, yeah.
And
Well,
now,
you still are,
you had
but-
to go out of your way and dig for new
Right.
music, man. You couldn't just get on the internet and type in,
exactly.
Well, that's what sucks about now is everybody, oh, there's nothing good out there. All of it sucks. But not really. If you go and look, there's
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
kinds of good
Yeah.
shit out
Well,
there.
I-
Right?
what we're
Especially
talking
now.
about-
There wouldn't be a
Yeah.
better time than any time than now.
What we're
where
talking
there's
about-
It's just
great
that
music.
easy now that you can type
Right.
it in on a
Right,
computer.
but nobody's doing it. They're just still
Right.
following the sheeples and listening to the same.
well, not just that.
For
but
the most part,
I think what we were saying too is, I heard a preacher I was talking to one time, and he put it really good. From the time of recorded history, to the advent of the computer, we took up maybe 2.5 inches on a reel, and then after the computer, we're bigger than the
he said
Sears Tower.
2.5.
So it's like there's almost too much information in a way. It's just all out there now, and you can just get lost looking
For
for
sure.
it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yep,
mean?
yep.
Yeah,
Because
there's so much
although-
stuff that even if you do look for it, you're probably gonna miss it because.
Although I
there's so
guess
much
when
other
you do
shit,
the,
Right.
you
the
know?
Spotify's and the whatnot, you can just play this band and bands like it, because
Right.
at Gatuso's, that's what I do. I'll be like, hey Alexa, play Rush and other bands like it, or
Right.
whatever bands. I'll
The
pick all
internet
kinds of different shit.
Now, are you
really-
guys still looking for new music all the time, or are you pretty much set and listening to?
No,
Or
I
you-
like new music
Yeah.
shit.
love
I just
new
been
music.
even though he's
I
been
feel like
out for a
I-
while. Upchurch, I've been starting to get
Yeah.
into him a lot.
He's really into Upchurch right now.
I feel like I've
been
hit
on
a
a
point
kick.
where I like what I like, and I'm not going out of my way to look for. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
I'm
I have
that
my-
old guy now.
It just
I have
depends.
a playlist, but like you said, you'll get those ones that pop up,
Mhm.
and then I find other things through maybe that route, and I'll go down that little hole and check out whatever's on that
Mhm.
label, And every now and then you do find those hidden gems. Like,
Right.
I really like this band Third Realm. I've been following him for 15 years, and he's still touring, man. I mean, Nathan, and I really like his stuff, and he's not huge by any means, but he's still doing it just like we are.
Mhm.
I mean, well, I should say he is pretty big. He is pretty big now. And I'm following West Cage Coppola still. I really like that Wolf song. Right, I've been playing that a lot.
That's a pretty good one.
It's a good
It really
rock
was.
song, And I,
mean-
I can't wait to see what he comes up with next, because he did that with the guitar player from Breaking Benjamin.
Mm-hmm.
Love it. I love rock and roll, and like we were talking before the show, I just love it live.
Oh, the live is where it's at. I
There's-
just,
There's something about being in front of it while it's being
it's the
played,
energy.
right?
I mean, it's the whole,
Yeah.
man. I mean,
And I don't care if it's just a local cover band on a Friday night. It's that same energy.
Well,
You're
sure.
dealing with that same creative spirit.
Yeah,
Right,
drum and bass at a live show is, you can't get that sitting in your living room. Yeah.
No, and
Yeah, I
people,
get that.
they are starting to get out more because we've noticed just going to some of the local watering holes, we're seeing it. We're seeing it. People are starting to come out more. And I just love how tight all the musicians are. The musicianship. We've seen some good bands. That German
Yeah,
tribute
everybody
band,
in lockdown didn't have nothing else better to do but play, man.
That's right, hone their craft, And like
The
you,
smart
it sounds
ones
like you
anyway.
did a lot. Now, how during COVID did you do a lot of recording?
You're not
Yeah.
supposed to say that word.
Yeah.
I remember thinking like, man, I wish I had a studio. I'd be doing so
I mean, a
much
lot of
right
people
now.
were freaked out at first, but yeah.
So you were having bands in and
Yeah,
recording.
yeah,
Oh wow,
yeah.
that had to be a trip.
I always kept it pretty. My weekends were usually I was either had shows or I was recording. So yeah, work through the week and then play on the weekend. But
And you're dealing with multiple artists. It sounds like from different genres too. Any like issues? Not by bands you want to shout out by any means, but anybody rub you the wrong way
No,
using your
not
stuff or
usually.
anything like that?
Not
Everybody
usually.
real professional.
everybody was pretty cool. A lot of them were a little less experienced. And the way that I was doing it, like I said, we'd go in, we'd crush out the music in a weekend, and then we'd come back and do vocals and overdubs and stuff the next weekend. And I try to make it as easy for them that didn't know how the process went and make it more like, okay, you're just practicing with headphones on, pretty much. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it gave a lot of bands that didn't have the opportunity or funds to get a decent studio time.
That's
you
kind of
know.
what we're trying
Yeah.
to do.
That's awesome.
I was
dude.
charging $50 to $75 a song. You know what I mean?
right.
Which
Getting-
is dirt.
Pumping them in and out. And yeah, I stayed busy, man. I've had some bands that didn't like the final.
Well, you can't please
yeah,
everybody.
you know what I mean?
Right. And if you're
But
a
yeah,
perfectionist, which it seems like you are, it had to be
80% of what
pretty toy.
80% of what I put out, they were at least happy with. So I'm always going to be my worst critic.
That's
But,
right.
yeah,
Sure.
Man, we need to get this guy around the chicken coop more. He thinks just like we do. You ever
Sure.
have your
It should
IQ?
be like that. You shouldn't
Bro,
take
you're
your-
welcome here
I
anytime.
appreciate it, man.
You ever have your
Appreciate
IQ tested?
it. No.
No, I'm curious.
No,
You're very high-minded.
definitely don't want to know that.
In fact,
Dude,
Gas will be rehearsing tomorrow if you want to stop
Yeah,
by.
man, I
About
might do that. I
6:30-ish.
might do that, buddy. Check you guys
I
out.
can't wait until Sunday, man. It's going to be fun doing a show with you, man. I just can't wait. We haven't done it for a while.
I know,
It's
it's
gonna
been
be
a
awesome.
minute.
I
Yeah,
know.
what was the last band that was in here?
Was it Ellison Company?
I think that they were before Mike's band, Hold Your Truth.
Oh, it was Hold Your Truth. Yeah, that's right.
Because
Hold
we
Your
ended up
Truth.
going and seeing them then
Right,
live,
right,
and
right,
man,
right.
that was a trip. We got to see a bunch of those guys from back in the day. They were all up at the Ignorant Owl,
Oh, yeah.
and the turnout was kick ass,
Awesome.
man.
Yeah,
Oh, man,
and they
it
played
was
all
awesome.
kinds of shit.
It's a cool bar.
That's right, and like Wick got up there and played drums with him a couple times. It looked like I think there were
Yeah, they did like
because there was another band we
Yeah,
missed.
yeah,
'cause
yeah,
we
yeah.
left. Yeah, we went out. We were gonna go eat.
that was
And then
them.
we
Well,
ended
I
up
don't know if it was
out.
so much of a band as they just got together and jammed a bunch
Jammed.
of shit.
Because that metal stuff that
Because
Mike
they was
said
playing
were
some
getting ready
Alice
to
in
do.
Chains and some other shit that I seen it on
Right.
a video clips that
Yeah.
somebody was posting.
Right, I think I saw that too. And then what was the one? Chrome.
Chrome, yeah. But that was right after Hold Your Truth.
Yeah, that
which
was
I got pictures of them that I never posted yet.
Cowboys from Hell. That was after Cowboys from Hell, right? Chrome.
Wait, what? No, I don't think they played. Because it was Hold Your Truth, Chrome.
That's what I mean. Chrome.
Yeah.
That was. I'm not saying that.
Oh.
right.
Yeah, Chrome was kind of.
Because it was an original stuff.
Well, it was
thought-
actually the guitar player. He was the one he wasn't in the original Cowboys, but when they came back and
That's
did
what I
them
was
few
saying.
shows,
It
he
was
played
after,
with them.
yeah.
Dan did,
'Cause
yeah.
he was telling me about it, and Dan said he wanted to be on too, and he'd be another fun one to have
Yeah,
on because he's from
yeah.
the same time period
Yep,
as
yep, yep.
all of us. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Right.
It'd be cool to have you come in and just hang out with us like this with
Yeah.
someone else.
Oh, yeah,
It's
man.
always nice to have another opinion.
Mhm.
It really is. We definitely don't want to be an echo chamber. And
Now, do you guys go live when you practice here? With
No,
Gas?
we haven't because we're just getting the bass player
Oh, yeah.
onto our tunes because he's only been
Well,
with us for about a month and a half or something.
Something like that. And you guys were going to do that live jam. If you could run back at the beginning of our clips, you'll see the live jam they did.
The very first one.
The drummer, right when they were getting really tight,
The
had
night
surgery.
before.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. And their drummer wasn't around. And me and Tom were like, well, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I definitely post that every time you guys jam. If you
Yeah.
can, man. Got the means to do it.
Yeah, he was going to be one of the main drummers for the night for that first jam we had, and he fell down and busted his shit up, had to have surgery, and two of the other drummers that was supposed to show up didn't show up. That was going to be the main drummer, so we was left with these other guys, which did a fantastic job by the way for all them guys.
Of artists that
it was
up
just
that
like
night, it was awesome.
It was just incredible that we pulled that show off like. There
Like
was
that.
no plan after the plan went to shit,
Right.
and we just was like, "Now what do we do? I don't know. We just get up there and play,
We're gonna
man."
jam.
And we did for 3 hours.
And they got everybody up there in the beginning, and it was like, wow, it was like a who's who. You had Wicked Lester guys up there, and you had Al, and you had, I mean, it
It
was
was a
so
whole
cool, the
mixture of a
mix
bunch of stuff.
time periods,
And we're gonna do that again, but next time it'll be in the summertime where the crowd can be hanging outside instead of be stuffed up in here because it was still cold out. Man, we was shoulder to shoulder.
asses to elbows, man. It was. Everybody was jammed in, but it was worth it.
It was cool, man.
There were some really cool moments, and I want to see Mid's boy play with Alex. Like, there's some
Well, they said they wanted to come back. We
groupings
just
that
got to
didn't
get that.
to see
You know what I
that
mean?
night, right?
Got to say, hey guys, when got to reach out to them again. You know how it gets. People gets to doing what they doing, and
Absolutely.
it gets
And we're not trying to plan out too far ahead.
Right.
We're trying to keep it within 4 weeks, right around there.
So yeah, you got some shows coming up, don't you?
Oh yeah. See, Friday I'm doing a benefit out at Lake Lilo, which is like down by Newcomerstown. Saturdays it's Drunken Uncle in Mineral City, and then Sunday here.
Is the benefit something you want to shout out?
I have no clue really what's going on, man. They just booked me for it. I
Gotcha.
don't even know what it's about. I know I've got to be there and play at 8. That's all I know, man.
Right on.
But yeah, after that, I mean, I pretty much got every Saturday for the rest of the year is booked. I'm trying to get Fridays in there too. So
You could jump on his Facebook because he posts all his dates on there. At Jeremy James.
that's about the only way.
He's
to
on
see
my
anything.
friends list.
It's really cool that you're still doing it.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, you know, the last punk band I was in, the Gun Punchers, we quit a few years ago, and just didn't really want to give up. You know what I mean? Stop playing, get all together. I really didn't want to start a full band again either.
And I could totally see that.
you
Man.
know,
It is a drama.
Like I said, I
I
had
was
to.
gonna say you're probably doing better off like you are.
I had
The only
to-
person you got to argue with is yourself.
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, right? I had all the equipment and the means to do it, man. I was just like, you know, something that I wanted to do for a while. I used to do it with another guy, Sean Coleman. We were called the Dub Brothers, and we did a bunch of radio stuff, drums and bass, and then he'd play leads and I'd sing and play guitar over it. And I did that for a couple of years. It was pretty cool. So
I could tell how much you love the punk, man. You mentioned it a couple times. That's awesome.
definitely do. Definitely
You heard
do.
Dave. I got into it a little late, man, but he got me into all the right bands. I had the kids listening to Gutter Mouth.
Oh yeah. Yep.
They were all singing Lipstick.
Yeah, those are great bands. That's shit that I will always listen to too. You know what I mean? Like it'll never go away.
You don't
That's
have
just-
to pay for shit.
You know, well,
Shit, you don't
I've been
have to pay
paying
for.
Oh,
That's
that's
just
all right.
Ed's
I'm
thing.
sure I'll drop another.
Pump up the volume. I just love that
Yeah.
one too. That's one that like I can put that on at any time.
Yeah.
I just love that album, man. I do. I love it.
That's the thing about that era too, in those bands is I can put an album in and listen to the whole thing. You know what I mean? There's no
No filler.
ain't skipping nothing.
That's right. I love it when the artists care enough.
Sue Williams says, "Go ahead, put your finger in the knot." Is that what that says?
Your finger in the. I have no idea.
You guys are
Knot,
engaging
knot.
the chat.
Yeah, I was trying to see what the ant farm was saying. It's hard. I'm blind, man. I'm way back here.
And even with my glasses, I can't see any of that.
Well, appreciate you guys for hanging out in there anyway.
That's right. We always check it up, in the recap, which is always fun. So, like you've done, and really before we just kind of go sideways, how we always kind of do at the end, like the last, and he's a musician, so I could really ask it that way because you've kind of played all those different roles, and you're doing it now with what you're doing now. So 20-year-old you, or 19-year-old you, and 50-year-old you, how's your vision changed as far as the music goes? Because you're obviously a music lover.
Yeah, I think that what it comes down to down the road is I stopped playing what I wanted to more and kind of started giving a shit about what the crowd would like to hear rather than, when we were young, we didn't know what we were doing. And we were playing stuff that we liked and we were trying to be as heavy and as fast as we possibly could. Like I said earlier, without learning the fundamentals that we should have, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that came later on.
There's
for
something
me.
pure in that, though.
Yeah, that came later on. We should have learned, for all of us that I jammed with, we should have learned some of that stuff in the beginning rather than,
It probably would've
I think
helped.
most of us take that long road.
I mean, it would have shaped what we
if you
played,
don't take it in
definitely.
school and all that shit,
yeah.
we take that long road.
Yeah, I think that's the difference between 20-year-old me and 45-year-old me is I'm just smarter. You know what I mean? I'm smarter about songwriting and, playing in general, I
You
think.
seem to really know the process.
I've recorded enough that, yeah. And like I said, when I was younger, man, it came naturally to me. Writing and fitting lyrics in was just it was a natural thing, Didn't really
Right.
have to think too hard of it. And some of the best songs that I wrote themselves. They were done in 4 or 5 minutes.
Right.
I can't
We
wait.
was
not
talking
3
about
weeks, you
that
know
the
what I
other
mean?
day. I forget who I was talking
I
about.
think you and me. We were
Was
talking
it?
about hooks.
And somebody was talking about writing songs.
That's
Remember?
right,
And I
we
was
were
like, they
talking
was like,
about
I was like, man, the best ones are
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
5 minutes.
They write themselves, man. They
Like-
really do.
Oh, I wrote it on a cocktail napkin.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that
It's like
moment of
if
creation.
if you sit there and think about it too long, that's when you sit there with a
Yeah.
blank piece of paper, man.
have songs
if
that are
it
like-
don't flow, you might as well just set the paper down and go do something else.
I have songs
'Cause
that
you're
are
not in
7
that
years old
creative
that I've
mood.
never finished because they're not right. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't ever.
I got
I
stuff
don't know
like
how
that,
to
too.
finish them. Or
Or you just have an idea and you
Yeah.
write it down, or you just do a verse and you're like, oh, now what? Yep, I got some of that.
Absolutely.
But sometimes what's really weird about that is you can take and just grab that verse, this one and that one, and kind of put them
Yeah.
together, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah, the
freaking
song.
song makes sense. And it's
That's
like,
right.
wait a minute, them don't even.
Yeah.
There was 3 different subjects, and now
That's
I
right.
put them together, and it's one song, and it means one thing. How did that happen?
Right.
Because I've done that too.
Yes.
It's
I
like,
did that quite a bit
whoa.
with the death metal and the black metal thing we were doing for 2 years. That's what I did.
yeah, it's
With
pretty
pieces
easy to
like-
take some heavy riffs and throw them together. You know what I mean? Definitely. I think that's why we kind of went that route, being young too, because there wasn't a rule book for death metal. You know,
That's
what I mean?
right.
There wasn't first chorus, bridge.
Right,
You know
right.
what I mean? It wasn't like that, so
we were on foreign ground.
you could do whatever you wanted.
That's right. There's something liberating.
That's
about
why
that.
there's them 8 and 10 minute songs.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Most.
Were
you
some
know.
good ones though that came out of that time period too, like Satyricon, Mother North. What a great song, man! And that's a long one. There was like a really cool video that went with that one too. I mentioned Acid Bath before, but Acid Bath, I
One of my
love that
favorites,
band,
yeah.
You know, I mean, when the kite string pops, Jezebel is still my number one for like hard songs. If I want,
That album definitely changed us when it came out, when we heard it, man. It was,
I mean, and the one after it.
lyrically too. I think more than musically.
Yes.
The screaming and the actual lyrics of those 2 albums.
What
are-
would you consider them? They were such a weird fusion. Like,
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I didn't even know how to classify them. Like hardcore.
Yeah, they have elements of everything in it. Really, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? There's
right.
there's doomy stuff. There's sludgy stuff. There's
Right. And
punk
that's what
beats.
I
There's
loved
thrash.
about 'em.
There's metal.
Oh.
There's melodic singing. There's screaming that you've never heard before.
That's
you
right.
know, that
That's right.
A little
sammy
bit of it all.
duets, high screams, and some of that stuff is just
I like the scream of the butterfly.
nightmarish.
Such a
Yeah.
good
I mean, and they
Scream
go-
of the
they-
monarch.
They go from that. They go from Scream the Butterfly to Babu Kumi, you know, which is
Oh yeah.
straight
And then
screaming
back to
craziness.
Finger paintings of the insane.
Yeah, definitely huge influence.
Oh man. You know, and those
Did you ever
just,
watch Venture Brothers?
mentioned that before, yeah. I mean, back in
You
the
gotta
day.
watch that. It's just funny.
I need to
shit.
go back
There's
and
a
rewatch
character of the
because
Monarch
I,
on there.
I always
It's
fell
funny
asleep
shit.
at that time. It was late. It was really late back then. I don't remember what
got
time
them
it was
on
on Adult
DVD.
Swim. I think I was watching it on Adult Swim as Rye Guy.
That's funny shit, man. There's that robot on there. Pat always does that on his guitar with the beer bottle. Drives Larry nuts.
I hate to do this to you guys, but my right kidney's killing me, guys. I got to step away for a second.
Oh, you and your right kidney.
I know, dude. It is what it is, though.
For the love of Bob. Yeah, he's only got a partial kidney, so he's got to go take that little break once in a while. So I don't know where the hell was he at on there. So, what would be your favorite music out of well, you already said the punk, so I guess
I want to go with punk. I mean, I kind of want to narrow anything down, but I think I enjoy more punk over anything.
And did we cover who your favorite band was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go through that one.
That's why they call it dope. Oh. Well, hell, we're down at the bottom of the list already. Ed was cruising through them. Here's one of them weird questions. Would you kill baby Hitler?
I seen that written down there. Would I kill him? No, I wouldn't.
That's a wild one because
wouldn't.
it's a baby and you don't,
I wouldn't
The
kill
baby
baby
Hitler.
Hitler. I
Dear God.
I don't think that's on me
When
to
did I
do.
walk in?
Should I believe that he should have been destroyed before that happened? Yeah,
Sure.
but I don't think that.
Good answer.
I don't think that I would kill baby Hitler.
Man, that's a wild question to walk into.
I was like, I was like, all right, where's he at? He's like, damn, he already done win all of them.
Yeah, whenever I walked in on that just now, just what it made me think of was The Boys from Brazil. Did you read that book?
Mm-mm.
Thomas Harris, I think, or maybe it wasn't him. It was all about what if they took all his DNA and made another one somewhere else. It's a crazy book from the 70s. The Boys from Brazil. I think they made a movie about it,
I
too.
don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, we got some stupid questions left. When did you turn gay?
I had no part of any of that.
Yeah,
I
but
looked down, I told
that's
him.
just for people that we're really familiar with.
What time did I get here?
Yeah.
These questions, man, are way out there, dude. I don't think we'll be asking these ones.
Stupid questions.
Those are my favorite ones, man.
Well, nothing's ever going to trump what he asked me on episode 3.
That was great.
Yeah, we don't even need to recount that.
Go back and watch episode 3. You'll
and-
see it in his eyes and you'll know when I say it.
Really, dude, don't hit that bell. Don't subscribe. We'd never ask you to subscribe.
That's funny.
Now, is your stuff up on YouTube?
I got a couple of Facebook Lives. I'm not really doing any kind of music pages, except for my own personal page. I'll post like the flyers for upcoming shows on that. And it's pretty much all I'm doing right now. I've been slacking in that arena.
Well, you're a mystery man to me. I cannot wait to see
Cool.
Sunday, man. That is really going to be
Pump
awesome.
to play, man.
I can't wait. I mean, just after talking to you tonight, you know your shit, man. It's going to be a good show.
Could be a
It's
real
gonna be
good show.
Real good.
Damn good show.
I like the way you say
No
that.
pressure, right?
That's right. That's right.
Nah, you'll be all right.
Yep.
You just do you and we'll do us and it'll be a damn good show.
Right on.
Yeah. And it's nice to have someone, a professional. We've been talking about that. Every musician that's come through here has been a total pro, and
Cool, man.
it's been really a fun experience.
You guys said it too, man. There's a lot of talent around here, man. A lot of talented people.
And we need him to,
Yeah, you
reach
guys
out.
report in,
Reach
hit me
out.
up
Reach out. Check out what we're
at
doing in the
Tom
live front.
Dalo, DLO on Facebook.
We really
Hit me
want
up
you
in the
to-
messenger and we'll get you on.
Come take advantage of this stage while it lasts.
We didn't really know how it was going to go, but then it started falling out to be how we'll have the musicians on the podcast and then do them Sunday so we can come in and talk about what they do.
Right, and
And
that way
then-
everybody has an idea of
Yeah,
what to
right.
expect.
And then plus they get their word out.
Right.
And then you get to know them kind of personally before they do their shit. So
Right.
it's
Exactly.
kind of a cool little thing that we kind of accidentally stumbled upon here as far as the podcast and the live thing goes. Pretty cool.
Very
Who
cool.
else is doing that? Nobody. We are. Nobody. We'll have clones though. There's going to be some people try to do what we do, but
Well,
and good luck with that.
We're just going to keep moving forward and see what happens because it's been a lot of fun and a lot of really interesting people have reached out, and the future is.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say we're doing it now, but we can't do it all right now.
Right
you know?
now.
So as long as everybody's still on board, and
We got some other interesting peoples as far as a few more famous peoples that we're going to reach out to that probably are going to come on.
and singers really think about the whole karaoke thing that we're talking about, because there is going to be some prizes, and start thinking about what songs you want to do, because our stage is your stage, and if you want to do like a whole set, we could make that happen.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Do you guys have the rig for it already?
Mhm.
Do you?
Once we get done doing this, watch how fast it turns into like a sound stage. It's pretty wild. We got our shite down now.
It's definitely cool. It's definitely, when I watched a video, I was like, I thought it was a stage somewhere in a bar or something.
Mhm.
That's awesome,
Definitely.
man. That's awesome.
Pretty cool.
Well,
We got a nice little. Yeah, it's. Most people do that when they walk in. They're like, "Wow, this is not what I pictured."
Nope, not at all.
I like when they come in and they see this setup first, and then like maybe a day or two goes by, and they
Right.
come back over and they're like, "Where did all that come?"
Mm-hmm.
It's a studio.
It's stuffed in the
It's a
other
recording
room.
studio. And Al has sounded great tonight. I got to give him props.
Especially for the way
Shred.
he was feeling earlier, boy.
I was really worried about him earlier.
Me too.
I asked him, I said, "Son, why don't you just sit it out tonight?" And he was like, "No, Dad, I'm playing with you guys."
Yep. He's like,
I was like, "Are you sure you could play?"
He's
It's
like,
been
I'm
going
getting
on
my
2 hours."
halftime, boy.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm playing." I got to admire his professionalism, because that was really spooky.
It was.
Are you, how many, do you have kids?
2. Yep.
2?
A son and a daughter.
That was your little daughter that came in today with you?
That's
Or was that-
that's my girlfriend's daughter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your little cutie pie.
That's awesome, man. I had 3 boys, and we wanted the girl, but never got her.
Yeah.
I got a little fur baby at home. She's 5. That's my girl. She
Yeah,
rules
they're-
the roost.
My daughter's just about to turn 18, so they're both adults pretty much.
Yeah, my boys are all in their 20s now. It happens way too quick.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
namesake,
it definitely flew.
man, he was a 2000 baby, and I remember all that hoopla that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And from 99 into 2000, and it was just like so, I don't know, mystical,
Right.
the whole experience. And then, like, boom, he's 24.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind. I remember whenever I had the Crayola markers and coloring beards on him and coloring out his teeth with the black markers so he looked like a little hobo running around.
John May, I sure do. Damn good show.
And we're gonna have a real good show come Sunday, and I can't wait. Do you have any like? What are some of your acoustic influences as far as like what you're doing?
I just try to do, like I said, it's pretty much a tribute to the '90s. So I do a couple of newer.
Joe?
I do a Foo Fighter song. I do a Cure song. That
I was just gonna ask if you do any Cure.
one's the '80s and one's a little after the '90s.
Man, now I'm really pumped because I love
But pretty
the
much
Cure.
everything else is just that era songs that I like that people definitely remember and nobody else is really doing. So
Don't forget
Hell
to tune
yes.
in, kids.
You better tune in because it's gonna be awesome. We're going back to the chicken coop. Back to the coop. Tom's Chicken Jack Records.
Yeah, I can't do the.
I
Yes,
can't do that.
John.
The deranged rooster.
What's up, John May? There's a few people on the old ant farm.
Well, do you want to field any questions? Were there questions or were more comments?
Hmm?
In the ant
Oh
farm?
no, just
I know you like to check it out.
I'm just making sure I gotta keep when our people's is.
I honestly, it'd be cool when we could have it like in front of us,
It would
a
be,
little bit
but
closer, and that way we could have the view. But I still wouldn't be able to keep track.
right.
you gotta have somebody read them off to you.
Yeah, we had somebody
been
that said that was
discussing
going to
that.
do that, but
We've had a couple people that have
Mhm.
volunteered that service. It would be interesting to see who actually does it. Sunday's going to be really fun, though. I'm really glad we finally got another live band in here. And
Mhm.
we're going to make you look really good, brother.
Cool. Appreciate it, man.
sound good too.
That's
Excited
right.
to do it.
And he is. He's his own worst
think-
critic. I tell you, he'll make sure you sound great, and then we'll be ready.
Right on.
Well, I am.
It's about that time, ain't it?
I'm there. Yeah, I think we've done our time allotment.
Pretty much there.
I'm going to thank our guest,
Mr. Jeremy James.
Thanks for having me.
Mr. Jeremy James.
Sorry, I only put $2 in there.
Nah,
Figured
you're
I'd-
good, man.
Hey, man.
Costs
Every
a lot
little
more
bit
than
helps.
that.
Every little bit helps.
Actually, that makes you look a little better, so that means
Right.
you're not a potty mouth.
Well, I totally am.
That's right. And we've been trying to get it. I tell you, if you watch episode 1 to now, we've really come a long way. Definitely.
John says, "Hey Ed,
Hey, how you doing, John? Alex sounds great back there. I love those last reading notes we always get. We should just let him play us out tonight.
you could for a minute, I guess."
Why not? It's your show, Tom. It's your show, Tom.
We do what we want,
We
eh?
do whatever we want around here.
I'll get my scepter out and we'll do some serious stuff here in a minute.
Oh, yeah. It's that time of the show. It's the time we say farewell.
That time
Goodbye.
again.
Goodbye.
I
Thanks for
see
tuning
Gary. I see Johnny.
in. Is Dennis still in there? Dennis, we
I
gotta get
see
you in here.
Dennis.
Dennis.
Remember Romper Room?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
I'll
That's
have
right.
to get me one of them things so we could do that for the ant
Oh,
farm.
God.
The magic mirror.
Yeah.
That's it. Ah,
Yep.
that's it.
The magic mirror.
Remember reading Rainbow? My brothers are really into that one, too.
That's funny.
Somebody remembered something. I saw the chat room move.
He said, "Peace, Ed."
Peace, peace.
All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and call it.
We're going to step out. You're going to hear Alexander, and he's going to put you
We're
to
going to let
sleep.
him play for a minute.
sleep.
We'll flip the camera over and
To sleep.
text all my. But thanks for hanging out, everybody. Be sure to come back next week
Sunday,
for the
5:30.
podcast. And Sunday, this Sunday, about 5:30.
The amazing, the incredible
Jeremy James.
James.
This is going to be a kick-ass show, guys.
gonna be
Don't miss
awesome.
it.
Thanks again for having me, guys.
Yep. Thanks
you,
for
thank you.
coming. Thanks for everybody for hanging
Thanks for
out.
tuning in, everybody.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Sunday, live from the chicken coop.
Trying to make it as least awkward as I could.
It's fucking awesome, man. I love the idea of having you back in again, like we were talking
Oh, yeah,
too,
man.
man. Because it is. It's
I
always
definitely
good
want to come back and watch you guys jam.
And I can't wait to see Sunday, man. I love all the shit you were saying. What cure song?
Just like a.
Ah, it's a good one. I love Plain Song. I was listening to that the other night. And I fucking love the Cure. I remember I had a delivery job in 92, 93, Sheer TV and Appliance. And I remember the guy that drove, he said, "Man, my favorite band's The Cure. Who are you listening to?" And I'm like, "The Cure." And I like ridiculed the shit out of him. And I got this chick after a gig and lived with her for like a year and a half up in Cleveland, and she loved The Cure, and that's it. I love The Cure after that. Turned me on to everything they ever did. She had a whole collection. Even the wedding album. The wedding song, I think it was called Wedding.
Yeah.
It's a really rare one.
Yeah, they.
Skinny Puppy,
Oh yeah.
9 Inch Nails. She was real heavy into them because the bass player that was on Downward Spiral was her ex-boyfriend. So
Oh, yeah?
I heard about that all the time. She was trying to get me another band, you know. And I'm like, I'm done with that shit for now. With the sour taste in it.
Trent Reznor was from Cleveland.
That's right.
They kind of ran him out.
I was down in Cincinnati U in 89. Down in college is when his brother went down there. And I wasn't going to be an engineer, but I wanted to go party. And when we went down there, he turned me on to a rough cut. I don't know how the hell he got it. It was like a dub cut. It was like a pretty good machine. It was before. I think it was before it was out because it was like a compilation for the college, but it had 2 songs off Pretty English. It had like a hole in something else. And I was like, "What the fuck is that?" He's like, "It's called 9 Inch Nails. I think that's what they crucified Jesus with. It sounds Christian rock."
I seen a video of him playing like Good Morning Cleveland or some show like that on TV.
That's awesome.
Some band, I can't remember the name of the band. They were like pop. They were
Yeah.
poppy. Like
Right.
that. And he was playing keyboard. Like,
I remember a real
it's kind of goofy.
early interview where he was talking like that about how he wanted to do some of that stuff because he was that synth pop music. He didn't care what anybody thought. And he just wanted to kind of take it to the next level.
He started doing, I don't even know if it was called Nine Inch Nails.
No, I was gonna kill that, but there's still people watching.
In Cleveland, and they were, no, everyone was like, no, dude,
Right.
this isn't working. So,
They were all into that heavy shit.
ended up going out to Chicago.
Well, and then I heard, where's Interscope? Where he was at with Interscope was in, down in like Louisiana. There's a studio down there too, because Robert Tyler Christie, these guys showed up.
I was
And
gonna
remember
kill
I was
it, but
talking
they're
to
still
Hot
all
the
still in
dancers
there.
when they were dancing to like the Womp. I'm Mushroom Head. I was a big Mushroom Head fan because they were contemporaries of my band and they were getting paid and we weren't. So it like really bummed me out because it was like they were all like costumes. It felt like we were straight death metal in your face, you know.
Yeah,
we couldn't score a lot, but like it is what it is. So like I love that song a lot though. The girls all look great doing it. And I remember they said, "You like that Marilyn Manson guy?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "You know, when he was recording the Antichrist Superstar, we were the strip club that Trent brought all the artists to when they were down in Louisiana. Just like, get the fuck out of here. No shit." And they're like, "We did 86 his ass. He wasn't allowed back in the club." I was like, "Marilyn Manson." They're like, "Yep." He was getting, you know, down there, the bones were exposed in the graveyards. So like he got it and emptied it into his one hitter and had the strippers snorting it, thinking it was like meth or something like that. When they found out, they hit her in the keys. They said that Trent slapped him in the face like a bitch and like escorted him out. And I was like, wow, that's crazy, man.
Fucked up. I hit one of them push things.
Oh my god. I got, you know, John Lindstrom got me into the Screaming Kids. I didn't know what they were, but I couldn't wait until their album came out. And then Marilyn Manson came out. Infernal Descent. We did straight black death metal. We had Mikey Mizaki was our drummer, and then Steve was our Steve Ingalls was our lead. And he came in later on. But Steve was a tight musician. That's who I did that Madonna track with right now. And then
Steve came in the studio years ago.
oh shit.
And with Super Predator.
That's the band. That's the band I couldn't remember. You ever hear Super Predator?
Yeah, he played bass.
That was Ingalls' band after our band.
Oh,
They came in the studio, recorded their album with me. Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I loved working with Steve. But Steve and
Aaron,
Mary.
they're good. Aaron Blackenhorn or something like that was the singer.
Okay. Because I didn't know the guys that he got with after us. And he didn't he never reached out again after that, which kind of bummed me out because him and I had a